Visitors in Shelbyville, it's the running back, Robert Bailey. He's the bell cow, doubles as an outside linebacker as well.
Yeah, so he's the first line of defense in the flat on that edge, and he's also going to be the big dog, all right? So you're going to, as the running back, you're the guy who's going to be leaned on heavily in week one and all throughout the season, so it's important that he gets on a groove very early.
And another running back for Siegel is Corey Jennifer, the speedster, going to get a lot of snaps, also at corner.
Yeah, and when you're the corner, you're also kind of doubling as that last line of defense. So when we get later into the game, it's going to be interesting to see how he works on that double load and if he can stay healthy.
Let's bring in the third member of our team, Sammy Kincaid.
Hey, you guys, for the Bart Durham injury report, let's start on the Shelbyville Central side of things. They have a little bit longer of a list of an injury report, starting out with Rocky Chandler. He tore his ACL during the Rockville scrimmage, and he is going to be out for the season. Also out for Shelbyville Central is going to be Tyson Dunn with a broken collarbone, as well as Cohen Abernathy, who displaced his knee. On the Siegel side, it's a little bit shorter of a list. You only have one name on that injury list, and on that list you have Demario Herron, who is out for the season as well. He tore his ACL during the summer. That's it for your Bart Durham injury report. Right after this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is proud to support Middle Tennessee high schools and high school athletics.
We're working together to help schools and students get the most out of their high school years on and off the field.
The Tennessee Army National Guard is honored to join forces with MyTV30 and Friday Night Rivals to support the communities we live in, work in, and we serve in. Tennessee Army National Guard is volunteer strong.
Tonight's Friday Night Rivals matchup between two of Middle Tennessee's finest high schools is brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law.
it is good to be back as a new high school football season starts in Tennessee. Tonight, the Siegel Stars host the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. It's a Thursday night football edition between two programs looking to build off their 2023 postseason appearance, and we are so excited to kick off our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend with three great matchups tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. Alongside former Vanderbilt Commodore Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Bruno, these two teams met on opening weekend last year. That was a thrilling shootout win for Siegel, but it's a new year, always a wild card in week one with two teams replacing this much on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. You said it, Lucas. We got two teams trying to figure out who they are. They've been working on things over the summer, flipping out personnel, but we talked to both of the coaches going into this game, and they were both like, whatever happens, happens, and they couldn't give an accurate prediction, which kind of is some of the best games to watch, especially in week one.
That takes us straight to our keys to the game. First, for the visitors in Shelbyville, stay on the field and keep this Seagull up-tempo offense off it.
Yeah, when you're in week one, a lot of soft tissue, a lot of hydration, a lot of cramping. So we need Shelbyville's offense to stay consistent, procedures stay on the field so that they can get their guys on the defensive side of rest.
And for Siegel, it's about sticking to the game plan. A lot of new parts and pieces, especially on offense.
Absolutely. When we talk about procedure, things like the handoff, no fumbles. I think if Siegel can just stick to their game plan, not get too flustered if things don't go their way in the first quarter, and just stick to what they know, they have a good chance to win tonight.
Now our players to watch. First, for the visitors in Shelbyville, it's the running back Robert Bailey. He's the bell cow, doubles as an outside linebacker as well.
Yeah, so he's the first line of defense and the flat on that edge, and he's also going to be the big dog, all right? So you're going to, as the running back, you're the guy who's going to be leaned on heavily in week one and all throughout the season, so it's important that he gets on a groove very early.
And another running back for Siegel is Corey Jennifer, the speedster, going to get a lot of snaps, also at corner.
Yeah, and when you're the corner, you're also kind of doubling as that last line of defense. So when we get later into the game, it's going to be interesting to see how he works on that double load and if he can stay healthy.
Let's bring in the third member of our team, Sammy Kincaid.
Hey, you guys, for the Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report, let's start on the Shelbyville Central side of things. They have a little bit longer of a list of an injury report, starting out with Rocky Chandler. He tore his ACL during the Rockvale scrimmage, and he is going to be out for the season. Also out for Shelbyville Central is going to be Tyson Dunn with a broken collarbone, as well as Cohen Abernathy, who displaced his knee. On the Siegel side, it's a little bit shorter of a list. You only have one name on that injury list, and on that list you have Demario Heron, who is out for the season as well. He tore his ACL during the summer. That's it for your Bart Durham Injury Law Injury Report. Right after this break, we're going to have kickoff, coin toss, a whole lot more for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
The 2024 high school football season starts now. We are underway. Shelbyville Central at Siegel High School as the Golden Eagles get the ball first on the road, looking to avenge a 55-43 opening weekend loss last season. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica, Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines. Shelbyville, led by head coach Judd Dryden, coming into Siegel for the first time in program history. First ever matchup between these two was a year ago, as the home side Siegel won the coin toss, deferred to the second half, and here's Shelbyville already approaching midfield on this 2nd and 7 screen out to the right side of the field for Maddox White. The senior gets popped by Andrew Varner. As we'll take a look at the coin toss, brought to you by the Tennessee Army National Guard from tonight's pregame. This is our head official, John Young, with the coin toss tonight. Against Shelbyville getting the ball first after Siegel won and deferred to the second half. The Shelbyville offense, a spread-based run, according to their head coach, Judd Dryden, in his third season at the helm, Bruno. And they'll be looking to milk clock tonight and try and keep this Siegel up-tempo offense off the field on its home turf.
Absolutely. They've done a great job so far of staying underneath, taking what's given to them, not going for too much, and now they're actually starting to attack the procedure and the discipline of Siegel's defense. They just get an offside penalty, so that continues their drive, and they're really starting to control time of possession here in this first possession.
Yeah, that takes them to midfield. There you see head coach Judd Dryden, their Siegel head coach Adam Renshaw, two coaches that have done such a good job of building their respective program into playoff participators. As it's a fake handoff and a run weaving up the middle with sophomore quarterback Stephen Bobo. He bowls forward into Siegel territory at the 46-yard line, where it'll be a first down pickup of 4. Brings up 2nd and 6 for the Golden Eagles. Bobo, sophomore quarterback, first-time starter, throws the ball well, according to his head coach, Judd Dryden. They want to operate in that quick screen game, but a great test for him tonight as that field marshal is such a young player.
And I like that they're taking their time, too, on the field. So they're kind of letting guys settle in. They're getting their alignments right. They're going to try and do things perfect and just trust their athletes to be better. They're not trying to, gimp anything on the first drive. I like that about them.
It's an offensive line that is younger than what Shelbyville is used to, but more talented, according to their head coach. As the shotgun snap goes to Bobo, he'll screen it out again. This is Wright's second reception of the game. Spin move gets him across the 40, and he's tumbled down by the senior leader of this Siegel defense, Colby Ward. As we take a look at the starters for Shelbyville, the BMC Metalworks starting lineup. There you see Bobo leading the way at quarterback. Robert Bailey will be key tonight, the bell cow running back, a junior in the backfield behind the sophomore.
Absolutely. They're going to really rely on that guy on both sides of the football, so he's starting to do well right now. We'll see if we can keep it up as the game goes.
Here's a 1st and 10 for Siegel on the 40, or for Shelbyville rather, on the 40 of Siegel. That'll be Bailey's first carry of the night. He's met at the line of scrimmage, popped and driven backwards by Braylon Albia, the outside linebacker. Here's a look at the Siegel starting defense presented by BMC Metalworks. That safety duo, something special, according to head coach Adam Renshaw, of Kevin Ensley and Andrew Varner, two seniors that have played a lot of ball.
And when you can turn a team into a one-dimensional, which is brought to you by BMC, that starting lineup, by the way. And when you can turn a team one-dimensional, as we see Siegel right there with another offsides procedure. But when you can turn a team one-dimensional, it really helps your defense and helps your coordinators lock in when it's time to come up with a game plan.
Offside against the Siegel Stars. Bryson Green, the inside linebacker, going a little early. That'll make it a much more manageable 2nd and short for this Shelbyville offense. A team that won 10 games last year after only winning 1 in Judd Dryden's first season at the helm 2 years ago. Looking to start off on the right foot with this opening drive. Bailey gets the give. He's tripped up in the backfield. Flag flies late. See if this one comes back, as Bailey might have been just short of the first down, and the hold will back up this Shelbyville offense. Not somewhere they want to be for a team that wants to be so run-based.
Yeah, and you're right here in what we would call the maroon zone. When you're starting to threaten the red zone, this is where you want to try and avoid negative yards at all costs. They really kill drives, so now they're going to start playing from behind. They're going to kind of teeter on this scoring position, kind of awkward 4th down punt situation.
Replay, 2nd down.
Shelbyville wants to have the mindset of a weight room type of football team. Head coach Judd Dryden says that's his bread and butter. He's a strength coach at heart and wants it to show in the way that they play. Harder to do, though, when you're facing second and long as they are now. 2nd and 14 for the Shelbyville offense. Bobo's going to throw. Guns it over the middle. Caught by William Bobo at the 30. That might be just enough, or it might be just short. It'll bring up 3rd and 1 as William Bobo, the older brother of the quarterback, Steven, we see that brotherly connection for the first time tonight to set up 3rd and short.
I love that play call from a schematic point of view, but also because you're getting personnel involved. These are two guys that obviously have a connection, being brothers, so you want them to kind of be on that same timing. These are guys that can work together, probably feel out a lot of the same things they do, so that was a smart decision there to recover those lost yards.
Expect to see that connection happen a lot more tonight as Shelbyville goes back to the ground on 3rd and short. Bailey does just enough. It'll move the sticks, and so far, so good on this opening series for the Golden Eagles.
And this is about as good as it can get for Shelbyville. They overcome adversity with that penalty. They're starting to really get into a groove with the run game. As we take a look right here, this is just an inside zone where you need 1 or 2 yards. You would tell a guy to get to the line of scrimmage and fall forward, and Bailey gets that and more. That's all you can ask for to keep him on the field and really start to pound it on Siegel now. They've been on the field the entire first quarter.
Already milked half the first quarter clock. 1st and 10 for Shelbyville on the Siegel 28. Bobo in the gun. It's Bailey with another give and room to run. Jukes at the 20, has room at the 10, and lowers a shoulder at the 5. It's going to be 1st and goal. Tackle made by Corey Jennifer, but Robert Bailey starting to rip off some chunk runs as Shelbyville continues to march down the field.
One of my favorite talking points. We call this the softening process. Whenever you get a team either late into the game or you get them on a long drive, that's when those short runs start to pop. You see linebackers' hands going on their own defensive linemen so they can't shake the blocks as much, and Bailey gets out in open space and shows he has some moves with him as well.
Some running back on running back crime there as Corey Jennifer, the corner, also the running back for Siegel, goes head-to-head with Bailey, who will get another crack at it here, slips up at the line of scrimmage and goes down, cleaned up by strong safety Andrew Varner, 2nd and goal.
Yeah, people will tell you when you get to this beyond the 10, this goal line thing is like a whole nother game of football. Different plays, different formations, different personnel. So when things don't go your way, it's important for Shelbyville not to panic here and just stick to what they practice on goal line situation.
2nd and goal. After a loss of 3, ball on the 8-yard line. See Bobo communicating with his offensive lineman. The sophomore quarterback, first-time starter for the Golden Eagles. He's going to keep it, squeezes through tacklers, and prances into the end zone. Touchdown number 1 of the 2024 season goes to Stephen Bobo. The sophomore quarterback scampers in from 8 yards out, and it's a dream start for the visitors.
I mean, what a drive to start your season on for Shelbyville and the Eagles. I mean, you can't ask for more. They attack through the air. They overcome penalties. They get to the goal line, and you see right there, Siegel started to falter a little bit. It's human nature. Your body gets tired. Your eyes move a little bit less. Your feet are chopping, so you can't react. Just one of those things. Shelbyville will get off to a good start.
And the kick up and good from Shelbyville kicker McAdoo. And we'll hit a break as the Golden Eagles march right down the field and punch it in with the sophomore quarterback. 7-0 Shelbyville late in the first. This is our United States Marines national anthem moment. Pre-game before week one, always a special atmosphere in Middle Tennessee and a perfect night for it. As the Siegel Stars host the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica in the booth, Sammy Kincaid down on the sidelines, launching our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend, a triple header, games tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday, and Shelbyville starts it off in style. Bruno marching right down the field on a 12-play drive capped by an 8-yard run by the quarterback, Stephen Bobo.
Man, when you talk about week one, you have no idea how things are going to go. Offensive, defensively, special teams, production, broadcast, anything can go on week one, right? And Shelbyville kind of defied all the odds and put together a heck of a drive and put their team in a good position to start out their new 2024 year.
Yeah, head coach Judd Dryden in year 3, 11-12 in that time, but really broke through last year with a 10-win campaign that included a playoff victory. Got to be thrilled with how his team came out to start. Shelbyville fell to Siegel last year and then ripped off a 10-game win streak after that week one loss. And now the Golden Eagles will kick it off to the Stars, who will be eager to get their first drive of the season with 4:37 on the clock in the first quarter. Betzelberger to kick it off. Back deep to receive for Siegel is Drew Hostetler, the wide receiver. It's going to be fielded at the 1. Hostetler at the 20 and is swarmed by the Golden Eagle kickoff team. So here comes this Siegel offense for a team that went 5-6 last season, 2-3 in a brutally tough Region 3 6A. Averaged 25 points per game as an offense that is called by head coach Adam Renshaw. Also with a new starting quarterback in number 9, the junior Tristan Thornton, who was injured last season. Got some time as a freshman, looked good, had an arm injury in 2023, and back out after a great preseason to lead this up-tempo Stars offense.
You know, last year we kind of had the shootout. I wonder if Siegel's going to try and react, and we'll see if they can turn that into the same type of game this year.
In the gun, Thornton's going to start us off with a give to Jennifer. Nice move out of the backfield for the junior, who is the lightning to the Thunder and Lightning duo. Excuse me, that's Albia, who is the Thunder to the Thunder and Lightning duo between he and Corey Jennifer, the two junior running backs, as we get a look at the starters presented by BMC Metalworks. Albia getting the start, Jennifer starting as the fullback. They're both going to tote the rock tonight.
Yeah, when you have two backs that can attack two different things, a lot of people think the defense can read that, but really it just adds so much more dynamic to your offense, especially as you get later into the game.
Here's a second down screen out to Drew Hostetler, the lead returning receiver for the Stars. Averaged 17 yards per catch last season, but that one won't go anywhere as we look at the Shelbyville starting defense presented by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary. All eyes on that defensive line group, Bruno. You see Scott, Clardy, and Edwards, but they can go 5 to 6 deep there as Siegel will air it out down the field, intended for Hostetler, but falls incomplete, and it's a quick 3 and out for the Stars.
Yeah, it's kind of flipped. When we're talking about the keys to the game, we told Shelbyville needs to, stay on the field offensively. They do that. Siegel, they were kind of, missing some assignments early, and we see a pressure right here on this last play, which 3rd and long is it's a disadvantageous position, so it's going to be tough. I mean, unblocked off the edge, you got to throw off the back foot and just try to hope someone goes up and makes a play there.
Zion Bonner bringing the pressure, the senior outside linebacker. So the Siegel punt team out on the field, and Shelbyville will get the ball back with all the momentum early on the road here late in the first quarter. And this is Siegel punter A.B. Tipia. Got a big leg, handles kickoffs as well. This one will soar to the 50. And not going anywhere, but good starting field position for Shelbyville Central, as Stephen Bobo, the quarterback, is back to receive the punt. And he'll stay on the field with the offense. And we'll see that next Shelbyville series when we come back. The Golden Eagles lead on the road 7-0.
Okay.
What's the first question?
Welcome back to Siegel High School hosting Shelbyville, where it is currently 7-0, and I am joined now by Staff Sergeant Joseph Schumann. And Staff Sergeant, thank you first so much for your service, and also thank you to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. And can you tell me, how is the Tennessee Army National Guard different from other military branches?
Sammy, thank you for having us out here. The biggest difference that we have is that we have a dual mission. Our mission really is the difference. What that means is we have a state mission, so we're to the governor first for everything from humanitarian efforts all the way to natural disasters and so on. Then we also have a federal mission where we go overseas, support allies, different things like that.
And what jobs can somebody have in the Tennessee Army National Guard?
All the jobs that we have in the Tennessee Army National Guard, we got almost 150 different jobs. We have everything from aviation to criminal justice, cyber, and then we have medical all the way to paralegal.
And everyone talks about the benefits of being in the military, but what benefits are specific to the Tennessee Army National Guard?
Well, to go back to your first question, because we have a dual mission, we also have dual benefits. So everything that we have state, our biggest one is the Tennessee Strong Act, covers an individual in a high school or in a college, like from high school to college, all the way up to a master's degree for free. So they get an education, no debt, and then we have everything else that everybody else has, FTA, all that extra benefits like Montgomery GI Bill is another huge one.
That's incredible that all of that is included. And again, thank you so much for your service, and thank you so much to the Tennessee Army National Guard for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy and Staff Sergeant. Approaching the end of the first quarter here in Shelbyville, finding ways to run the football behind Robert Bailey. Bruno, who was a 1,000-yard rusher last year, and it's a Shelbyville team led by head coach Judd Dryden trying to replace MTSU commit Rocky Chandler, who tore his ACL in the preseason. And Bailey, so far, so good in terms of stepping in for the future Blue Raider.
Yeah, Bailey came in. He didn't get too many reps on the early drive until the end, but now he's starting to really step up.
Here's Bobo airing it out down the left sideline, and just a little too far for LeBron Ransom, the senior. Bobo, the sophomore quarterback, ran in the 8-yard touchdown that put Siegel behind at home. Adam Renshaw, the head coach. Fifth season for Renshaw. 15-27 in that time, but took over a program that had gone 1-9 the year before and slowly built it up from there, bringing Siegel to its first postseason appearance in a decade last year. Here's 3rd and 8 for Shelbyville Central. First career start at quarterback for Stephen Bobo. Keep it on the ground with Bailey. Lowers his shoulder at the 35, but going to be well short of the first down, and that was Colby Ward with a head of steam, along with Corey Jennifer and that Siegel defense. The junior and senior leaders swarming to the football to bring up a 4th down situation. Offense looks like it may stay on the field.
Yeah, they go for just a zone play here, and they know they're kind of in 2-down territory. So you might see a run right there, and you might think, why would you do that? Well, there's a lot of risk in passing the football, especially until you know your personnel and procedures. So they're just looking to kind of chip it down, get them a more manageable. Once you get to that 5-yard line, it opens up a lot more routes here for their 4th down attempt.
On 4th and 5, Bobo sends it to the left side of the field, spinning out of tackles as his older brother, William, right at the sticks. It's going to be close. William Bobo, typically a deep threat for this Shelbyville side, but gets out on the screen. And we'll get a look at the ruling.
Man, I'll tell you, what good offensive football teams do, they get their best players the football. And right there, you're just giving your guy a chance and a little bit of open space and saying, we're going to get this first down, which Shelbyville has just been called to do.
And it is a BMC Metalworks first down for the Golden Eagles. Offense stays on the field, and the key to the game, Bruno, was exactly that, right? Mm-hmm. And so far, executed to perfection, though it's still early.
Yeah, there's still a lot that can go on in this game, but right now, I mean, they're playing it to a T.
Bobo going to throw to the right side of the field. It's at the feet of Jay Whitelow, the sophomore receiver. Brings up 2nd and 10. Judge Ryden told us this week, this is a spread-based run game. They want to hang their hat on running the football, calling it an extension of who they are in the weight room. So when you get into these second and longs, 2nd and 10 here, how much harder can it be to stick to that run game that you want to be your identity?
Well, when you're successful like Shelbyville is, that also opens up the pass, and they're hitting a lot of the quick passing game right now.
Keep it on the ground here for Bailey, who gets wrapped up at the line of scrimmage and tossed down by Jesse Beverly, the senior. Make sure Bailey's going nowhere. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 13 for the Shelbyville offense.
We see Beverly right there at the right defensive end spot. He kind of is the read man right there, and he's able to just keep his feet running, keep an eye on the football and all the different reads he has to go through on quarterback to running back and all the movement of the line. He just sticks to his spot and makes the play.
See how much clock Shelbyville decides to milk here. 30 seconds to go in the first. After an opening series that resulted in 7 points on a touchdown run by Stephen Bobo. The lefty will air it out on the run. It's just too far for his brother. No, excuse me, that's Mason Shavers, the intended receiver. Incomplete, brings up 4th and 12. It was there for him.
Yeah, there was good pro. He goes out to the field. It's one of those things also where you get your quarterback moving, and it might, it just might not get him with his feet set into an element to try and make that over-the-top pass, because there was separation there. But just, that's one of those week one things. Got to find your execution.
Offense will stay on the field right outside of the 30. One of those spots where it's too far for a field goal, too close for a punt.
Yep, and it creates some great high school football moments right here.
On opening weekend, Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend here on MyTV 30. Bobo looks downfield again. That time it is William with the toe tap at the 20. It's going to be just short. Turnover on downs. He's about 2 yards short of the sticks. A good find by Stephen Bobo, but Siegel will come back out, and this offense is going to want another run at things after the quick 3 and out on their opening series.
Absolutely. From Siegel's point of view, I mean, it's early in the game, so there's no reason to sound the alarm, but there needs to be a sense of urgency to go out there, compete at every rep, because if it ends up being 3 and you go back and you're breathing well and you're hydrating and you're just looking at your defense getting dog-tired, you have to take some pride in that as a Siegel offensive player right here.
Here they come, led by quarterback Tristan Thornton. On what could be the final play of the first quarter here in Murfreesboro. Handoff running around the left side. This is Albia, and Shelbyville defenders swarming to the football, forcing him out. Clock stops with 6 seconds, no gain on the play. Siegel, an up-tempo offense that likes to spread the field, attack open space. But head coach Adam Renshaw told us this week that it might be the best offensive line he's ever had as a head coach. Wonder how much more they try to run the football tonight.
Well, you can't stay away from the game. You have to try and stick with it and really attack those edges if you're on the zone.
They're going to attack the middle of the field here. Complete over the middle. Matthew Rice, the tight end, with the reception. And that's going to be the first BMC Metalworks first down of the night for Siegel. But at the end of the first quarter, it's Shelbyville on the road with the lead after an 8-yard touchdown run by Stephen Bobo. And we'll be right back for second quarter action here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Stay with us in the fourth quarter, the Bart Durham Player of the Game. When we conclude this Week 1 matchup, Shelbyville at Siegel on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. It is Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend, a triple header that begins tonight with the Stars hosting the Golden Eagles. Bruno Reagan, Lucas Panzica with you in the booth, Sammy Kincaid on the sidelines. Here's Siegel after picking up its first down of the day on its second series. Screening it out to the left side of the field. Nothing going there on the pass for Kevin Ensley, his first reception. And Siegel kind of trying to go sideline to sideline here, it seems. Head coach Adam Renshaw again told us this week they want to attack open space and they want to go fast.
Yeah, they're having trouble kind of finding a groove. When they're attacking their zone, they're losing from their tackles on the outside. And then when they're attacking the outside, the only success they've really had is up over the middle, and you can't rely on that. They have to get their base going.
On 2nd and 10, over the middle, ball's tipped up in the air, nearly intercepted. Multiple Shelbyville defenders with a shot at it. It was intended for Drew Hostetler. And the closest man to it was William Bobo. Ball's incomplete, 3rd and 10.
This is one of those what I call like a full team interception, because the D-line is getting after it so much in the run game. It allows the secondary and the corners to keep eyes on the quarterback, not have to follow reads too much. And then it just takes one tip drill to turn it around. And, I mean, they would be on the other side of the field.
Siegel spreading it out here. Thornton. Little screen to the left side for Ensley, and once again, Shelbyville all over it defensively, forcing a 4th down as we kick it down to Sammy on the sidelines.
Guys, I was talking to Coach Renshaw earlier this week and even this morning, and he had some very quirky, unusual sayings about how his team needs to approach tonight's game offensively. And the first one was pack the chute. If you're jumping out of a plane, you need to pack your parachute. You need to be prepared. Don't get caught off by their schemes. Also this morning, this is a country saying I've never heard, you guys. Would love to know if you've heard it. Don't let there be a copperhead in the bedclothes. He's saying, don't get surprised by a copperhead in your bed. Don't be surprised by what they're throwing at you. That was his message to his team before today's game.
Those are two new ones, at least for me. I don't know. You've been around this part of the state for a long time, Bruno. You tell me if you've heard that before, but
absolutely not.
A flag down on the punt by Siegel. We'll see if that comes back and the Stars get another crack at this series. Looks like it might be roughing the punter as John Young gives us the call. So Copperhead in the bed, that's a new one for you. All your time at Clarksville and West End, playing for Vanderbilt, nothing.
Well, I was always a wrestler growing up, especially in this part, so I was kind of spiritually a northerner, to be honest. I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but football found me late, so I'm not aware of the saying yet.
Well, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty against Shelbyville, so Siegel will get another chance to punt this away. And you know, Sammy is talking about the offensive approach there for Siegel. They've been outgained 102-15, just not going according to plan so far for the Stars.
Yeah, I mean, remember what our key is there for them, though. I mean, this is just one quarter of football, so they got to stick to their game plan, stick to their base. If they lose sticking to their guns, that's something you can live and improve on. But right here, I don't want them to get out of their element too much.
William Bobo making a couple men miss as he gets across the 40. A flag flies late on that play. As this game has slowed a little bit here. Shelbyville took the opening kickoff after Siegel deferred, marched right down the field on a 12-play, 72-yard drive. That took over 7 minutes off the clock and ended in a touchdown run by quarterback Stephen Bobo. And a personal foul against Shelbyville will back up the return of William Bobo.
Yeah, when you talk about what Siegel needs to do, I mean, their zone game is there. I mean, the reason you run a zone, a lot of people think when you go run a zone to the right, your running back needs to run to the right. Well, if you block it well enough and the defensive linemen overshoot their gap integrity, then it can be a C-to-C gap play, and your running back can hit that backside. So they really need to sell out on these zone plays. Don't be passive with it. Attack the line of scrimmage.
So Shelbyville going to try to go back to work here with a 7-0 lead, early second quarter. The Stars coming back out on defense. What's impressed you so far about Shelbyville's operation on offense to this point?
Man, I said it earlier, it's just getting the ball to their key players. That's what good teams do. You know, you don't win with the X's and O's. You win with the Jims and the Joes, and that's what they're doing right now.
And this is one of them right here. Robert Bailey stymied before he gets to the 30. But the 5'10", 170-pound junior running back, good returning player for the Golden Eagles. With a 4-yard gain, kind of makes something out of nothing there. He's got 11 carries for already 56 yards.
And those 4 yards, as we start getting later into the game, they'll come 6, 8, and explosive plays.
Stephen Bobo making a change. Offensive coordinator is J.C. Hunsaker, who's been with Judd Dryden from the start. Bailey get another crack at it, and nothing going this time. Half the Stars defense in the backfield that time, meeting the junior running back, dropping him for a loss, and it brings up 3rd and long.
I'll say it didn't work out for Shelbyville there, but one thing I'm really impressed with their offensive line is if you're ever in an O-line room, you'll hear linebackers make tackles, defensive lines make tackle for loss. And what the Shelbyville offensive line is doing is they're really, really keying in on these front 3 and 4 and just giving their running back Bailey a chance to attack those linebackers with a little bit of open space. So it might not be perfect, but you're putting yourself in a better position.
Bobo on 3rd and long. Rolls left. Guns it down the middle of the field. Little bit of contact late, not going to be a flag. And it will bring up a punting situation for Shelbyville. So you're kind of seeing both teams feeling each other out a little bit to this point. Shelbyville marched right down the field on that opening series. Since then, not a lot of separation between the two.
And I will say, I don't think we're going to get last year's shootout. Analyzing the game as we've seen it so far, I mean, it is 2 teams, and they're now starting to develop new identities. There is a little bit of slow play to it, but I like that neither team has panicked. Shelbyville obviously has the better production, but if you look at the scoreboard, there's still a big chance for Siegel to start chipping away and come back.
55-43 was the final at Shelbyville Central last year as the punt is low, chasing after it and falling on it at the 5. Disaster strikes for the road team. Punter Jackson Them had no choice but to fall on the football, and that'll breathe some life into this Seagull crowd. Judd Dryden looks on as his defense will be forced to come out for a 1st and goal. Siegel will get it at the 5.
Man, our pregame keys have kind of flipped. Shelbyville, now that they've come out with the advantage and they have the early score, it's their job to control procedure. One of these things, giving up all these yards on the side of the field, it's an absolute killer for momentum because Siegel has a chance to get on the board and do it very easily. They get to warm up on their goal line stuff, which they might not have had opportunity going into the clutch time. Now they get to a chance in the 2nd quarter, and I mean, this is their chance to now stay on the field and get their defense a much needed rest.
Both coaches mentioned special teams as a key factor in this game, as it was in that Week 1 game last year. The Siegel win at Shelbyville. So here come the Stars. Great opportunity to punch it in at home and even the score. Thornton, the junior quarterback, is going to give it to Jennifer, and his first carry of the season is a touchdown. The track star, Corey Jennifer, gets physical between the tackles, and Siegel an extra point away from tying it up at home early in the 2nd quarter.
Jennifer, our pregame player to watch for the Siegel Stars, and he did a great job. We watched the middle of this offensive line. Shelbyville coming out in a 3-down, and Jennifer kind of goes one-on-one with the linebacker, and what he does really well there is he scrapes the paint off the wall. He attacks his offensive lineman's shoulder and jersey, giving him just enough space to not give that linebacker an opportunity to tackle him, and he's able to fall forward and score.
There is a late flag. John Young tells us a face mask on the defense. So the touchdown will stay on the board. They'll assess it on the kickoff. So here's Tipia for the extra point. And Siegel with a chance to tie it up here. Just the break that they needed. Holder is Justin Remkes. And the extra point is no good from A.B. Tipia. So Shelbyville will hang on by a point, but Siegel gets on the board. Corey Jennifer runs it in from 5. Shelbyville leads Siegel on the road 7-6. Early second quarter here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. It's our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend, opening weekend in the 2024 high school football season in Tennessee, as we take a break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
Wilson Bank and Trust is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes, both on and off the field. So, Siegel on the board. Corey Jennifer runs in a 5-yard touchdown after a turnover on a punt for Shelbyville gives Siegel the ball on 1st and goal. Extra point was missed, but the Stars with a big boost to that sideline after a first quarter that just did not go their way at home, and now the defense back on the field.
And when we look at the game last year, it was a shootout, very fast paced. Now they're kind of having time to, think about things. It's really important that these coaches keep their kids focused on the now, the here, the now, the play going on in the formation. When you get this time, sometimes you get a little bit wayward looking around.
Scoring summary, didn't take long, 6 seconds, 1 play, 4 yards. Touchdown number 1 of 2024 for Corey Jennifer. Here's a guy that's toted the rock already a few times tonight. Robert Bailey rounding the left side. That is his 13th carry of the night, 59 yards. But most of those from that opening series when Shelbyville marched down and took the lead. What kind of adjustment has Siegel made defensively?
Well, they're trying to really attack the line of scrimmage instead of sitting back now. I know Shelbyville had a little bit of early success attacking the open field, but they know they're going to have to stop Bailey if they want any chance of winning this game. So they're starting to stay off their heels on the second level where linebackers and get on their toes a little more.
Bailey with room on the right side, breaks free at the 45, dragging a defender across midfield. And there's a big chunk play ripped off by the junior. He took Andrew Varner for a ride, but it's a 24-yard gain, and it gets Shelbyville into Siegel territory.
I mean, what can you say about Bailey? The Shelbyville offensive line, they stick to their D linemen. They get up to the second level. They're having the linebackers put their hands on the D lineman. Whenever you do that, that's a winning rep from an offensive lineman position. It makes the job super easy for Bailey to scrape that paint and get some open field.
Going quick. Here are the Golden Eagles. It's a keeper for Bobo. Cuts up field. And he's cut down between the hash marks. Tackle made by Mason Grisham, the outside linebacker, and felt like Shelbyville needed a big play, a spark to kind of light a fire under their offense again, and here they get it in the second quarter.
And they're doing what I thought Siegel was going to come out and do. They're attacking the C gap right there with Bailey. Then they have an end sweep around with Bobo. I mean, they're hitting it on all fronts. They'll go A gaps, just trying to keep this Siegel defense on their heels, which is, if you watch the second level right now, they're not getting much movement.
Bobo hands off up the middle. It's Bailey again, and he's able to push the pile across the 40, and it won't be enough for a first down. It will set up a 3rd and short. 3-yard gain sets up 3rd and 4 for the Shelbyville Golden Eagles.
And I just love the inside zone call, too. It's safe-ish from a play call perspective, from a procedure standpoint, and you're kind of, you can operate with the assumption of 2 downs here, so you just chip away, and make it manageable.
Bobo, the hard count. Siegel showing pressure. Big 3rd down here as we near the midway point of the second quarter. Our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend. Timeout's taken. Shelbyville wants to talk about it. Judd Dryden takes his first timeout of the season. We'll take one as well as Shelbyville leads Siegel on the road by a point midway through the second. This is the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecast: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Fast Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support: Shelbyville Central, and our host, Siegel High School.
Stay tuned for the United States Navy halftime report. We'll have participating school administrator interviews, highlights from here and around the nation, and more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Big third down here, 4 yards to go for the Shelbyville offense. Leading by a point on the road on opening weekend. Stephen Bobo, the quarterback, going to tuck and run. Rounds the edge, lowers his shoulder, and he might have the first. Rolls across the sticks, flag flies late in the secondary.
We also have a flag back in the backfield. Could be holding too.
So we'll see if we get offsetting penalties here. But the sophomore quarterback showing some courage there, lowering the shoulder right into the teeth of that Siegel defense. May end up having to replay the down as we await the ruling from John Young.
And when I saw it with my eyes, I haven't seen the replay yet, but it looked like one of those questionable ones. Maybe when the offensive lineman gets that hand on the hip and they're trying to push and guide that weight, you know, it's hard. Holding involves grabbing the fabric and restricting movement.
We have multiple fouls on the play. Holding number 6 of the offense during the run. That'll be 10 yards from the previous spot. We have, after the play, personal foul on the defense. That'll be 15 yards added on after the penalty. We'll replay third down.
If that's not week 1 football, I don't know what is. I mean, we're talking about not shooting yourself in the foot. You have to play 11-man and disciplined football. So whichever team kind of, locks in the most, they're going to have the best chance to control the rest of the first half.
Maddox Wright, the receiver, called for the hold. We'll replay the down at Stephen Bobo. Juking defenders, trying to get out to the left edge, and he's not going to have enough. As that'll bring up second down, so it was a 1st and 10. Heard John Young tell us they'll replay the down, but they did move the sticks, but a nice little run by Stephen Bobo, making it a 2nd and manageable.
Man, the juxtaposition of having your quarterback, lower the shoulder and lay down the boom. If that doesn't get you pumped up as an offensive football player, I don't know what does. Now, you look at your young cat and you're like, hey, we're going to need you 10 weeks in the season and hopefully some more. But, Bobo's just trying to make it happen and get his team off to a good start here.
Seen that a couple times tonight from Bobo. This time he'll give it to his bell cow, Robert Bailey, battling past the 30 and going down to bring up 3rd and short. It's been a good early rushing tandem, Bobo and Bailey. Bailey's already up to 89 yards on the night, and Bobo with the lone touchdown of the night for the Golden Eagles on that opening series.
I think Shelbyville just kind of matches up well against Siegel's 3 down front, because when you have a 3 down front, obviously you're taking a defensive lineman away, you're attacking the edges. Well, it allows these linemen to kind of shuffle together, stick, become two people become one, and then start chopping their feet. There's not really a lot of backfield pressure, and when you get Bailey room to kind of get churning, that's when he's dangerous.
Here's 3rd and 2. Bobo will keep it, and he gets popped. Turned away at the line of scrimmage. It's a good downhill hit by Bryson Green, the junior linebacker. It brings up 4th and short, and I don't think there will be any hesitation here from Judge Ryden. Offense stays on the field.
Great job by Siegel right there. They have to get on their toes on the linebacker level. Early they were getting a little bit hit over the middle, but you see right here, number 22 on the left side of your screen, he shoots the gap instantly. He follows the puller, and he kind of spits right into that open gap. Bailey sees the open gap. He sees the open gap. They meet in the middle. They're going to have to start attacking that line of scrimmage if they want to stop this run game.
Approaching the 4-minute mark in the second quarter. Shelbyville's had the lead since the opening series. looking to come on the road and avenge a Week 1 shootout loss from 2023. But a timeout on the field, second one of the half, taken by Judge Dryden and the visiting Golden Eagles. And they're going to want to talk about it. Big opportunity on this drive to extend a 1-point lead. But you got to think Dryden happy with how his offensive line is playing so far. He talked about it earlier this week. It's a much younger group than last year, but he feels more talented. They have the size, and senior center Ian Matisic is kind of the marshal that's been through the growing pains of the early difficulties from 2 years ago when Dryden first took over. So far, feels like they're passing the test.
And they're playing really well. Now, it's kind of a dual thing when you're looking at the scoreboard and you're like, man, we're playing well, we're securing the LOS, and we're driving our guys on the ball, but we're only up by a point, and that's kind of, on a procedure thing. So you're thinking to yourself, why is you have to kind of, as a coach, bring your offensive linemen, just make sure they're grounded and trust the process. It's really kind of flipped into Shelbyville's favor with the process now. So they're doing things really well. I would tell them, don't get away from it. They're attacking the flat. They're attacking over the middle. They have good inside game. We've seen some gap scheme early. They might come back to that. So they have an arsenal of weapons. Just stay calm, stay composed.
Only one timeout left for Shelbyville as they're going to want to take their lead into halftime. Hope you'll stay with us. The United States Navy halftime report with participating school administrator interviews, highlights from here and around the country, and more. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Just feels right, doesn't it? A crisp night. I mean, it's August. It doesn't feel like it out here in Murfreesboro.
Absolutely not. This is beautiful weather. Am I sweating? Yes, but I am a large individual, so it just comes natural.
Stephen Bobo catching a sweat tonight, too. The sophomore quarterback takes the snap, looking to throw, airs it out, into the end zone, intercepted. Taken away on the one. Kevin Ensley, the safety. Officials are going to talk about it.
I think the spot's going to be in question here. It's no doubt an interception. And I really don't dislike that play call from Shelbyville right there.
It's going to be a touchback. So a best case scenario there for Siegel as Ensley, the veteran safety, with a diving pick, and the Siegel offense will get it on the 20.
Yeah, and as I was saying, I don't dislike the play call. It's one of those things where you kind of get them off the edge. But the problem is the forward secondary and the linebackers at the second level, they're attacking and thinking run. When you're attacking the corners, they're always thinking pass, pass, pass. So even though I think they were in the right for taking a shot, it just might have been in the wrong space. I would have probably gone still underneath over the middle, but hey, they're trying to come and get a win on the road. Sometimes you got to play like it.
Well, it's the second turnover of the night by Shelbyville. One on a punt, the other an interception by Stephen Bobo. So here comes the Stars offense. The junior quarterback, Tristan Thornton, gives on the end around, coming to the right side. It's Drew Hostetler, but Shelbyville is all over it. Nate Zimmerman, the sophomore linebacker, leading the charge. Drew Hostetler was the man with the ball, and he's dropped for a loss of 2 to bring up 2nd and 12.
The Shelbyville defensive line, specifically their outer edges, are doing great on staying right here. You see them shoot up the field. Hostetler could do a better job of attacking the line of scrimmage, but you're kind of coached to, feel it out, and you have to trust your blockers too. So, Siegel, they're still out of their groove. They haven't found a base formation or play yet that's working.
Zion Bonner was the first man to him. So Thornton on a 2nd and long goes over the middle, tipped up in the air, and just out of reach for Tyon McAdoo, the junior corner.
Siegel getting lucky. These tip drills are falling away from Shelbyville when we're really close. We see right here, he's trying to go over the middle, and these Shelbyville defenders, they just get to keep their eyes on him. There's not really a play action threat that moves them away or off their spot, so they're able to just set their feet underneath and kind of anticipate these throws. Siegel's just got to find something. I think just stick to the run game and kind of hope that the conditioning level, rises to the occasion.
A lot of 3rd and longs tonight for the Siegel offense. Here's a 3rd and 15. Thornton pitches it, and there is not much room to run. Corey Jennifer makes something of it, scampers past the 20, but it's not going to be enough for the first down, and Siegel will have to send out the punting unit once again.
And it's nothing against Thornton either. He's getting hit basically right before every single throw. So he doesn't have that step in that he needs to complete these longer early down passes on first and second when the D-line kind of gets to go a little crazier. Maybe they go to Jennifer a little earlier, even though they're in backed up. I know they kind of want to save him for those, outside, more open field positions, but right now they need something going.
It was only his second carry of the game. He was our key player in pregame, as the punt by Tipia is a good one, fielded by Bobo at the 45, and he goes down right at midfield. So once again, Shelbyville with good starting field position. Threw an interception on the last drive, but the defense stands tall, and the Golden Eagles have 50 yards to go to try and extend this lead before the break.
And I don't want to say Shelbyville has to score here. They're still going to be competitive, and they're going to have the advantage in this game so far. I mean, they should end the half with the football in their possession. But when you're gifted this field position over and over and over again, we need to start converting and at least get some points on the board.
Offense back out on the field. Judge Dryden, who used to call defensive plays for Shelbyville, first got the job as the strength coach and defensive coordinator, has shifted into more of a CEO role. Here's his running back, Robert Bailey. So tough to bring down. The pile pushed to the 45 and driven back there, but Robert Bailey, relentless in the run game. That is his 17th carry, and he's over 103 yards for the junior running back, acquitting himself well. Was a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, but much more of a burden to bear this year, as Rocky Chandler, the MTSU commit, was out for the season with the torn ACL in the preseason, and Bailey is taking on that responsibility tonight.
He's running the zone and the gap scheme really well. He has multiple avenues to be successful as a running back.
Early movement here.
Five-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Beyond the sophomore right tackle, Chandler Cates.
Penalties on first down, they can kill drives. I mean, you have to make up the yards. Luckily enough for Shelbyville, they're on the other side of the field, so they can kind of assume fourth down would be something in their repertoire, but it's not something you want to rely on either.
It's 1st and 15. Bobo. Keep it with Bailey. Shakes off a tackle in the backfield and accelerates to the 35. First contact. Not likely to bring down Robert Bailey tonight. That's a 5-yard pickup as he made a man miss, and he gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
And not to, just single out one guy. The Shelbyville offense is playing well as a whole, but Bailey just keeps his feet moving. There's this weird mystical thing in football where in offensive football, you're taking the same amount of snaps as the defense, but you're just so much more energized. I mean, he keeps his feet turning, and the linebackers, you kind of see their juice, and they're kind of slipping off of them on these tackles.
Here's a screen to the left side of the field. It's tipped up and caught. William Bobo, it's a foot race to the 10, into the end zone. It's been one of those days so far for the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles. The tip drill for the offense results in a 36-yard catch and run. Stephen Bobo connects with his older brother William, and this Siegel crowd is stunned in Murfreesboro.
The Bobos, they start out the game with their connection to convert some big third downs, and right now I think you want me to analyze that play, sometimes the football gods are on your side, and that's what happened right there on the tip drill. Bobo's Johnny on the spot, right place, right time, and he's able to just take the ball and just find the open field and go.
Extra point is up and good. And the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles lead Siegel on the road 14-6 with less than 90 seconds to go in the second quarter. Bobo to Bobo, 36 yards. Corey Jennifer was the man bearing down on it. The Siegel cornerback looked like he had a great look at it, Bruno, on a screen that was high, and if Jennifer catches that ball, that's 6 the other way, and it's tipped up into the hands of William Bobo.
Yeah, you tell guys, I mean, if you can touch the football, you can catch it. And he had his fingertips on it. It did look just too high for him to secure it. And not to dog on Jennifer too much, but there's a reason a lot of times these DBs play defense. So he had the open space. He had the go. It just was a little bit too high. He had the right idea.
So after the extra point, it is 14-6 in favor of Shelbyville. And this game is not going the way it did a year ago in that shootout win for Siegel. What's important here for the Siegel offense, really the entire Siegel sideline, to kind of settle in and maybe try and get something out of this series here. Feels like it's more than a one-possession game, but at the end of the day, it's an 8-point lead.
This is the most interesting spot of the game for me so far because Siegel has yet to get something going. I don't know how well-versed and how spread out they were able to practice, but right now we would see the first look at their 2-minute drill. So if your base offense isn't working, and then you go out and you're able to operate on the 2-minute, that could be something to talk about at halftime. You know, you don't want to get away from your game plan, but hey, if we're hot on the quick game and going down the field, that might be something we want to stick to.
3 plays, 50 yards. For the Shelbyville offense, only 1:38 off the clock. And Siegel will have one more opportunity to put some points on the board before halftime. Out to the 25, running around the 30 and tumbling out of bounds there is Siegel's Braylon Turner, the junior. And Adam Renshaw is going to get his offense together. The fifth-year head coach calls the plays on the offensive side of the ball. Tristan Thornton, the junior, who's not making his debut at the quarterback position, but hadn't played it in 2 years and now being thrown into an important situation before the half.
Yeah, I mean, Shelbyville has had Bailey kind of come up, and Siegel's just kind of waiting for that guy to take over. Now, there's been just an unfortunate, it's been 10-man football. They have an unfortunate thing here or there, a quarterback hit. They just really need everyone to come together and put together one drive.
Thornton will give to Jennifer. Able to surge to the 35. It's his 3rd carry of the night. Obviously, with 1:10 on the clock, Siegel will want to look to move quick here. They do have all 3 timeouts.
They want to move quick. They also don't want to give the football away, especially on their own side of the field.
Thornton fakes the give, dumps it down. This is the tight end, Matthew Rice, and he is met as he gets to the line of scrimmage. And William Bobo is all over the place tonight on both sides of the ball.
I mean, what a track by William Bobo. If you watch right there, his outside foot facing to the field just plants, and he attacks the angle. A lot of people chase the player. He attacks the angle, is able to make a great play.
It's been a formidable duo for them at safety and on offense, Stephen and William Bobo. Although some early movement here, could be a free 5 yards for Siegel.
The defense be 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
So it'll keep it at 3rd down.
Goal here for Siegel is probably just convert and go to halftime and talk things through. Nothing too crazy. We'll probably just see a run and try and time out this first half.
Head coach Adam Renshaw calling the plays on offense for the Stars. They're going to let the clock tick down here. Maybe have one opportunity to pick up a first down or more. And they'll keep it on the ground with Jennifer. It'll be swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And that'll take us to halftime. Tackle made by Jackson Them. And it brings us to the end of the first half on this Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend. Shelbyville 14, Siegel 6. The Golden Eagles took the ball first, marched right down the field and scored. And were able to add to their lead after the Siegel response. A Corey Jennifer 5-yard touchdown. The extra point missed, made it 6-7. And then the Bobo to Bobo 36-yard connection on the tip drill for the offense pushed Shelbyville in front 14-6. And you got to think Judge Dryden, who will meet with Sammy Kincaid here in just a moment, is happy going into the locker room as we go down to Sammy and Coach Dryden.
Coach Dryden, we got to start with the Bobo brothers, Bailey, even the young offensive line. Your offense is doing really well in this first half. What can you say about them that's working that you need to continue in the second half?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of mistakes. Don't get it twisted, right? But what's happening is those guys are working through the process. They're making mistakes. We're getting them off the sideline. We're making sure they get corrected. We come back out. We do some good things, make a few more. And that's the process of being young and learning the game, especially on the offensive line. And you can't say enough about Bobo's and Robert and how athletic they are. I mean, they'll just make plays.
And the big thing going in tonight, you said you wanted to control the clock, control the game. You've been doing that in the first half. What do you have to do to continue that into the second?
I think we got to not make silly mistakes, not be the reason we get a penalty, not be the reason that bad things happen to ourselves. Mistakes are one thing, but a lack of control, that's a totally different thing. And we have to eliminate those, or it's going to be a long second half.
Well, good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sammy. And Shelbyville head coach Judge Ryden in our Josh Houston and Associates Coaches Corner. At the break in week 1, Shelbyville leads Siegel 14-6.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea. Join Sonic throughout the 2024 Tennessee Army National Guard Friday Night Rivals regular season as we recognize exceptional senior student athletes from each participating school. These nominated students are also eligible to win a $10,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season, courtesy of Sonic. Sonic is the proud sponsor of the Friday Night Rivals Scholar Athlete Program. Live free, eat Sonic.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
I am now joined by Shelbyville Central's principal, Coach Charlie Pope. How are you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining me. And first off, I hear that y'all are back-to-back Platinum School Award winners. That's pretty incredible.
Well, thank you, and that's correct. We our Renaissance program is a school-wide school culture program, and Johnston sponsors it, and it's where the big emphasis is making sure that you're inclusive and you try to reach all kids. And it's pretty cool to watch your kids lead it. And this is my second year as principal, and we're really proud of that effort because when those kids get involved, it cuts down on discipline, attendance increases, academics get better. It's an all-around program that we're really, really proud of at Shelbyville Central.
And whenever you have something like that that's all around and they're able to do something outside of the classroom, I'm sure it does help. The grades also go up whenever they're being able to get involved in so many different ways.
Oh, absolutely, because if you get them multifaceted, they don't feel like they're just a student. I mean, they feel like they're a part of what we're doing. We call it Eagle Nation. They're a part of Eagle Nation, and it's pretty cool when, like, we had a student, we do a lot of community service work, and we had a student this summer who lived on the other side of town and was reading to elementary school kids in our extended school care. and he had to be there at 9. He woke up at 8 and took a cab across town and paid for it on his own to make sure he was there to read to little kids. And that's when, as a principal, that's when you know that what you're doing in a school, you're doing something right, because the impact it's having, you can't measure. You can't put a data point on it, but you know you're doing something right, and that's pretty cool.
That's pretty special, and you must be very proud. And another thing you could be proud about, you're probably proud of the score right now at halftime. You hope that it continues probably. But talk about just being a part of the first game of the Friday Night Rivals weekend.
Oh, it's a tremendous honor. It's a blessing. I mean, anytime that our student athletes, our band, our cheerleaders, and our fans, for that matter, can get highlighted, we love it, because we've got a lot of great things going on. Sure, 14-6, we're up on the road against a really good team. You hope that we can continue that. But, it's first game of the year. There's going to be jitters. There's going to be some misplays on both sides. I just hope that the clock's friendly, keeps rolling, and we can keep that score, that margin at least. Score can change. Margin stays the same. We're okay.
That's pretty much what Coach Dryden just told me as well. So,
well, okay, I guess I'm glad I'm reading from the same script.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you so much to Western Kentucky for bringing this moment of halftime. Whenever we come back from break, we're going to have stats, updates, highlights, everything for you, so stick with us. We'll be right back.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Thank you so much. I am now joined by principal of Siegel High School, Mr. Larry Creasy. How are you doing tonight? Thank you so much for hosting us, first off.
Appreciate it. We're glad to have my TV 30 here. We appreciate what you guys do for student athletes all over Middle Tennessee. What a great night from the atmosphere for the first game of the year.
And let's talk about what's going on at your school right now, because you have an aviation program that I hear is pretty incredible, right?
It is. This is starting our 7th year of aviation program. We're very fortunate to have that program at our school. Rutherford County Schools does a fantastic job for all of our schools, but we're fortunate to have that program. There's only about 15 in the state of Tennessee. Our program has grown tremendously over the 7 years. Scott Myers is our instructor. He's grown it to now we had to hire a second instructor this year, so we hired John Ritchie this year to be the second instructor. It's a great program for our students. It's given them many different opportunities. We have many simulators, up around 18 simulators, and they go from just training simulators all the way up to ones they can train on and actually get FAA hours on. One of the simulators has full motion, just like if you're landing a plane. You can fly 3 different planes in that one simulator and land in any airport in the United States or around the world, actually. Another part of the aviation program is drones. Drones is the big deal going on right now, and many different industries use them all the time. Our students can train on them and go all the way up to different operational drones. We have 25 students that's got their professional drones license since our program started. So it's just a great program. They're in many different schools around the country in aviation. One's down in Huntsville, Alabama. Of course, we got MTSU. They're a great aviation program that they're involved with. Embry-Riddle down in Florida. It's an aeronautical university. So we got all over the place involved in military as well. We've got one going into the Marines. It's going to be messing with drones as well. So very, very fortunate to have that program, and does a great job for our students, and anything that gives our students opportunities to succeed in life, that's what we're here for.
That's a very unique opportunity that they're giving. I was about to say, I knew MTSU had a great aviation program, but that's really, really unique. And something else that's unique, it's first year. You just started a credit union here, right?
Right. Redstone Federal Credit Union. We just had the ribbon cutting today for that branch that's in our cafeteria. Another great opportunity for our students to get real-world experience. They'll be running the bank in our school. Students will be able to go and make deposits. So teachers will be watching over the students that's working in the branch, and will be open every day, one period a day. So looking forward to that partnership. They're also one of our sponsors for our turf field. So that's part of that whole deal there. So proud of that, but we're glad to have those opportunities for our students.
Yeah, and I just talked to, Shelbyville's principal, and I talked to Coach Pope, and I knew that you were a coach as well. So what does it mean to you to be able to be out here first night of high school football here in the Mid-State? So what does it mean to you?
High school football, there's no other thing like it. It's a great evening, beautiful weather, great facilities here at Siegel High School, Ken Nolan Stadium. Proud of the second year on our turf, so just proud for the facilities we have. We need to score a few more points here and do a little bit of a job here on the defense, but hopefully we'll get that turned around. Coach Renshaw does a fantastic job with the program, and looking forward to seeing where he takes this program.
I was going to say, are you going to give Coach Renshaw any words right now?
No, he don't need any help from me.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for joining me. And we will have more right after this again. Thank you so much to Western Kentucky for bringing this moment during halftime. But whenever we come back from break, highlight stats, we'll have it next. Stick with us.
This week's Friday Night Rivals Educator Spotlight is presented by Western Kentucky University. Climb higher at Western Kentucky University.
You're watching the United States Navy Halftime Report. The United States Navy, forged by the sea.
Welcome back to the United States Navy Halftime Report, forged by the sea. Halfway done in this 2024 season opener at Siegel High School, where the Siegel Stars lead the Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles. The Shelbyville Central Golden Eagles lead the Siegel Stars 14-6. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica up in the booth. Sammy Kincaid is down on the sidelines as Shelbyville got the ball first, marched down the field and scored, and they've really had the lead since that point. Bruno, as we get a look at the first half highlights, this capped a 72-yard opening drive with a Stephen Bobo 8-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, Bobo, I mean, they put it on early, opened up the opportunity for Bailey to kind of get eyes off of him in the rushing game. They've been the key backs.
Here was the response from Siegel after a couple of 3-and-outs. Corey Jennifer on his first carry, 4 yards for 6, and they missed the extra point.
Yeah, Jennifer getting his first carry there. Then they kind of went away from him a little bit. I would look for more Jennifer here in the second half.
7-6 at that point. Shelbyville on the move, but gearing up for a deep ball towards his brother William. That one is picked off close to the end zone by Kevin Ensley, the safety, and Siegel gets it back, but quickly is forced to punt. And here's Shelbyville on the ensuing drive. This was the connection from Stephen Bobo to William Bobo. The tip drill for the offense, 36 yards for the touchdown.
It's one of those where Jennifer shot where he thought the ball was just a little bit too high, and the football gods favored Shelbyville Central here in the first half.
And that takes us to the first half stats. You know, numbers don't always tell the story, but feels like in those first 2 quarters, certainly they do here.
And I think our 2 coaches were onto something when we were talking to them leading up to this Thursday game. You got to remember also, this is a game that's kind of out of the element. These kids are used to playing on Friday. Now we're here on Thursday. We're kicking it off. You're trying out new things, a lot of new people to replace. So now they have a feel of where they're at. It's interesting to see what adjustments we make here coming out of halftime.
So at the break, it is Shelbyville 14, Seagull 6. Siegel will get the football to start us off in the third quarter as we kick off the 2024 season with our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend, a triple header. Matchups happening tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, starting with Shelbyville and Siegel here on this Thursday night. The Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Each week during halftime of our Friday Night Rivals broadcast, we'll be showcasing outstanding Thursday Night Lights and Friday Night Rivals game highlights from across the country. Let's check out some of the best from the 2023 season.
The best.
Oh my God! It's good! And Milton wins it with a 46-yarder! The last play as the clock winds down. That is number 88.
Welcome back to Siegel High School, where I have with me head coach of Siegel, Adam Renshaw. Coach Renshaw, what was your overall message to the team during halftime?
Yeah, mistakes are killing us. First down's killing us. They're getting yardage on first down, keeping them on the field, making their play calling easy. We're not getting yardage on first down. So I got to do a better job. We got to execute on first down better.
And before the game, though, you mentioned special teams, and special teams did make some plays. Is that going to be a big part, you think, in this second half?
Oh, yeah, it was big. It's got us in the ball game right now. We got to come back. We're about to kick off return right here and hopefully find some hidden yardage there.
All right, thank you so much, and good luck in the second half, Coach. Guys, up to you.
Thank you, Sammy. That is the Josh Houston and Associates Coach's Corner, a one-source scholastic product experience. Shelbyville leads on the road 14-6 as we get ready for the third quarter here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Week 1, alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. You just heard from Sammy Kincaid. 11 first downs for Shelbyville, 1 for Siegel. Bruno, what's got to change for the Stars?
Well, one thing I liked about what Coach Renshaw said was, first of all, he took accountability. You don't see that from a lot of coaches. He said, I got to be better. I think they got to get Jennifer a little bit more involved on those early downs. He talked a lot about first downs. If you look at play callings and playbooks, a lot of OCs and head coaches, they try and manage it by where you're at on the field, and you have 3 to 4 plays you like. There is no good play call for 2nd and 10, 2nd and 15. So if they get a little bit more on those first downs, maybe rely on Jennifer on early downs where he's kind of out of his element, but you just got to trust your key players to make a play.
Let's get it back down to Sammy for a second half injury update.
Hey, you guys, the Bart Durham injury update is the same as it started at the beginning of the game. For good, it is Rocky Chandler. He is out for the season with a torn ACL. He tore that during the Rockville scrimmage, as well as Tyson Dunn. He is out with a broken collarbone. And also you have out Cohen Abernathy with a displaced knee. On the Siegel side of things, you have out also Demario Heron. He is out with a torn ACL, and you know that Siegel is really missing him on the defense and looking for some guys to step up for him in the second half.
Thank you, Sammy. And Siegel will get the football to start things off in the second half. Still a one-possession game here on this Thursday night season-opening matchup. Edwards will be the one to field the kickoff. He's popped as he crosses the 20. Laying the wood is Brody Laverne, the linebacker on kickoff coverage. So here comes the Siegel offense for the first time in this second half. We mentioned needing more Corey Jennifer for the Stars. 4 carries, 15 yards for the Lightning in that Thunder and Lightning duo between he and Albia. Albia only has 2 carries on the night. Wonder how much more they try to get both of the backs ingrained in the game plan.
And when you're at halftime with only 20 or 30 or so yards, it might be good. Let's say you're successful on first and second down off the run game. That might be time to get a play action pop. One explosive play can kind of change the momentum of the game.
Junior quarterback Tristan Thornton back out here. Going to throw on first down. Going to run on first down. Tucks runs across the 25 and brought down from behind. It's a bear hug of a tackle by the linebacker, 53. We don't have a name for, unfortunately, on our roster. It brings up a 2nd and 7 after a 3-yard pickup. Siegel spreading things out. Now we're seeing some of that tempo here. Thornton looking to run again. He's under immense pressure and goes down. That play done from the jump.
Shelbyville somehow got in the backfield so early. I mean, they were attacking the handoff read before he could even have it. There was no read there. That was just a guy in your face. That's tough, especially after a good first down. We're talking about first down and getting ahead of the 6. They do that, but now they're facing, again, a 3rd and 7 or 8 where your best play calls are just a yard or 2 away from your routes.
3rd and long was the story of the first half for Siegel. Here's 3rd and 6. Thornton under duress again. He's wrapped up, tries to toss it into the middle of the field. They're going to say it's incomplete. Ball hit the ground. Wouldn't have been enough for a first down anyway, as the diving snag was made by the tight end Matthew Wright. And it's a 3 and out on the opening series of the second half.
Is that a flag on the field in the backfield, Lucas? I'm having trouble seeing right here. I mean, we're just getting nothing going on the Siegel side of the football. We started out, we got ahead of the chains, but I think kind of going away from Jennifer in the run game has been tough as the referees discuss what's going on here.
They'll confer. Here's John Young.
Looked like it was against Siegel.
illegal forward pass on the offense. That penalty has been declined. Brings up 4th down.
Thornton ahead of the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, you got to feel for Thornton here because, I mean, you're asking a little bit of the impossible. He can't get his reads off. There's too many guys in the backfield. He's having to escape the pocket instantly on any sort of drop back pass. So you're looking around. I mean, I really wish they would get Jennifer more involved here, especially coming out of halftime.
A.B. Tipia back on the field to punt it away for Siegel. William Bobo back deep to receive. High snap. Tipia able to corral it. Gets a nice punt off. Tight spiral. Bobo will let it bounce. That'll roll to the 30, and that is where Shelbyville will set up shop with an 8-point lead on the road in this Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend opening matchup. Shelbyville 14, Seagull 6. Welcome back. Early third quarter. Shelbyville on top on the road, 14-6 as we open up the 2024 high school football season in Murfreesboro. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Sammy Kincaid down on the sideline giving our weekly check to Siegel High School. Principal Larry Creasy. Appreciate them hosting us tonight on a gorgeous Thursday night in Middle Tennessee as part of our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend. A triple header beginning with tonight's matchup. Tomorrow will be at Page as the Patriots host Giles County. Saturday, CPA hosting Brentwood Academy. Loaded weekend of high school football right here on my TV 30. After forcing the punt, this is Shelbyville. Sophomore quarterback Stephen Bobo. He's going to hand off to Robert Bailey, the running back. Not a lot of room to run as Kevin Ensley was shot out of a cannon. Ensley, 51 tackles, 3 for a loss, and an interception to boot last season, paired up with his partner, strong safety Andrew Varner, who comes back with 52 tackles from last season. Head coach Adam Renshaw saying they are blessed to have this safety duo at Siegel High School. Here's 2nd and 9. Going to go into the belly of Bailey again. He's got room to run, and he explodes past the 45, and he gets up fired up after a 14-yard pickup. 20 carries, 123 yards for the junior running back.
Man, this is just your base kick out. You see right there, it looks like they pull the backside offensive lineman. He's able to just turn his feet, get a little bit of space. They do a great job on the front side of the play where Bailey was running just to wash him down. Parts like the Red Sea, and what more can you ask from your offensive line?
1st and 10 as they get up to the 46-yard line. And why not? Again, the give to Bailey, shakes a tackle and tumbles down before midfield. And head coach Judge Dryden so pleased with the preseason Robert Bailey has had because it looked like it was going to be a big need for Shelbyville. Such a run-heavy football team. Rocky Chandler goes down with the ACL. MTSU commit. He holds the offer. Coach Dryden said Derek Mason and his staff were fantastic. Your former coach at Vanderbilt. But Rocky Bailey just taking on that load, and he's been the bell cow, and he's shown up here in week 1.
You know, injuries are a tough thing, but they also give opportunity for guys to show their stuff, and Bailey has really taken advantage of his opportunity tonight.
Screen, Bobo, out to the left side of the field. Room to run at the 45, at the 40. Flag is down, tumbling across the 35. Football out, blue shirts falling on it. And we'll await a ruling as it was Maddox Wright on a high-arching screen thrown by Stephen Bobo. I have to sort this out. Did you have a Derek Mason shout out?
I did.
On the broadcast today?
I love Derek Mason. I hope he does well at MTSU. I've heard nothing but great things from the Murfreesboro crowd about him, so I think they're very lucky to have him. I mean, great guy.
You're blocking the back. That'll back it up for Shelbyville. As we broadcast from Siegel, home of former Siegel quarterback Brent Stockstill, who went on to have a great career at MTSU, playing for his dad, Rick.
Blocking the back on the offense during the run, number 16, 10 yards from the start, replay second down.
Bring up 2nd and 5 for Shelbyville. A lot of good football in Murfreesboro these days between the Region 3 6A schools and MTSU. Bobo throws a dart over the middle of the field, and it's a tip drill opportunity. We've seen a few of those tonight. Siegel has yet to capitalize. That was Delvion Ewing, the junior, nearly on the end of it.
I don't want to have to say it again. I mean, they're doing okay getting Bobo out in space. He's unprotected, but as a wide receiver, first of all, you can't tip the ball up in the air. Catch it with your hands, not your body. So if you do drop it, it goes down to the ground. And, I mean, if you're Siegel right there, you got to come down with that. You got to. There's a reason the youngins play defense sometimes, though.
Here's 3rd and 5. Bobo, who doubles as a pitcher. Got a heck of an arm, the young sophomore. He'll fake the give, tuck and run. Finds a gap at the 40, showing the speed as he trips across the 30-yard line. Stephen Bobo gets it down to the 31. That's an 18-yard pickup for a guy that throws a heck of a fastball, can tuck and run, and so far is marshaling this offense in his starting debut.
And they just run a counter right there. You see number 77 for Shelbyville. We got Caleb Smith. He's leading the charge. He's the kick-out guy. Then you have the backside tackle pulling through on the open space. Great play. And we have for Siegel, number 2, Ensley. We brought him up earlier in the drive and how great he was and how great the coaches, how excited they were to have him back in the safety spot. But, you know, down right now, this might be some soft tissue with cramping.
Certainly hope it's the latter. Week 1. The 8:24 mark after the BMC Metalworks first down picked up by the quarterback Bobo. Ensley will get up and start to walk on his own power, which is a good sight. Very important player on both sides of the ball for this Siegel squad. Trailing by 8 at home. Very different game, huh, from that Week 1 matchup a year ago, 55-43 in favor of Siegel.
Absolutely, and I know you're not putting up the numbers if you're Shelbyville, but that doesn't tell the whole story. I mean, they're playing such sound offensive football. They're having a little tip drills, and they had that turnover in the first half that makes it a little closer than they needed. But Bobo and Bailey, they're both following their blocks to a T. They're playing assignment sound football. Can't ask for more.
Shotgun snap, Bobo. Throws a dart to the left flat, and it's a little too far behind his older brother, William. Brings up 2nd and 10.
That was a good break on the ball by Delvion Ewing.
Let's get back down to Sammy. Excuse me, Bruno. Let's get back down to Sammy for a quick injury update.
Hey, you guys, after that last play for Shelbyville Central, Xavier Jordan came over on the sideline. He's currently being looked at on the sideline right now. It's his left shoulder and arm being looked at. Back to you.
Thanks, Sammy. Working through some Week 1 injuries as here's Bailey bursting through the line of scrimmage. Untouched, he scores. A great night continues for Robert Bailey, the junior running back. Goes 31 yards to match the jersey number. And he's got 158 yards on the night, putting Siegel ahead 20-6 with the extra point team on the field.
If you're gracious enough to listen to our Thursday, Friday, Saturday night games, you're going to hear me say it over and over again this season, especially with run-heavy teams. This is what we call the softening process, especially with running backs like quarterback and running back duo like Bobo and Bailey. You're getting these 4, 5, 6-yard gains, then they start turning into 11, 12. And as you start getting later into the game where the play count starts to get high for the opposing defense, they turn into explosive scoring plays. And right now, it's actually hitting a little earlier than you would like if you're Siegel.
Looks like a late flag. John Young looked like he was about to give an explanation here to the home crowd. Didn't see a flag on the field.
Week 1 for the refs as well. Try to be graceful with them. Can't have a football game without our referees.
Looks like something after the play. that will be assessed on the kickoff. Won't affect the touchdown. And here is John Betzelberger to chip in the extra point. Snap is awkward, but it's up and in. And that is great work by holder Mason Shavers, the backup quarterback, and kicker John Betzelberger. As you see, junior running back Robert Bailey getting worked on the sideline after a 31-yard scamper into the end zone to push Shelbyville ahead 21-6.
I'm joined now by Josh Houston from Josh Houston and Associates. And Josh, thank you so much for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals. And can you tell me what's new at JHA?
Well, Sammy, we've been busy. You know, we picked up photography, added the photography division a couple years ago, so we stayed busy all summer long taking senior photographs. And now that we're in school, we're doing a little bit of everything. We're meeting with seniors, marching them towards graduation, talking about caps and gowns and graduation products, meeting with yearbook staffs, and they're starting designing yearbooks, and we're taking class pictures from K-12. So we're excited. Football's here, though. Great night tonight, and looking forward to watching the Siegel Stars in action.
That is a busy start to the year. And how is your company different from others in this space?
Well, we're truly a one-source, one-company model. So most of our competitors, they've got differentiated sales forces that cover yearbooks, that cover photography, graduation. We brought all that in-house, and we do a couple of other things as well, spirit shops, branding division that we just started. So we bring all that in-house. Our business-to-business customers in the schools enjoy that. And then as far as from the consumer standpoint, our e-commerce platform is the easiest, quickest out there, and we allow consumers to get whatever they want in one shopping experience, kind of the Amazon of Scholastic, I guess you would say.
Yeah, why do you and schools partner with each other?
I think we've just built trust. Our team has got decades of experience, and it's taken that. It's such a relationship-based business. It's taken years to earn that trust. We've got probably 30 years combined experience on our team, and we value those relationships. We don't take it for granted, and we appreciate our school partners.
Well, thank you so much again for being a sponsor of Friday Night Rivals.
Thank you, Sammy. The Siegel Stars set to get the ball back at home, now down 2 scores, but still plenty of time, Bruno. Early in the third quarter, sense of urgency's got to be ratcheted up on that Siegel sideline.
Yeah, and you're starting to get to the point, too, where you have to think about, your season overall, because you don't want to have nothing to look at from this game film-wise. So this might be time where you go a little bit into your later installs, things you might be questioning. I know our key for the game for Siegel was stick to the game plan, but right now your game plan has you at about 30, 40 yards total overall going late into the third quarter. So this is the time maybe to start expanding.
Siegel being outgained 257-30 to this point. It was an 8-play, 70-yard drive, took 2:24 off the clock. Robert Bailey with his first touchdown of the night. So you had Stephen Bobo run one in the first quarter. William Bobo on a screen pass thrown by Stephen Bobo in the second, and Robert Bailey with a 31-yard touchdown, as they'll back this up from the penalty that happened after the play on the touchdown. Bobo, and Bailey. Not bad for a law firm, you think?
A 3-partner way, that wouldn't be too bad. Now, I'll tell you right here, Siegel, when you have this field position, this is something you have to take advantage of this. Got to come away with points.
Kickoff will come from Ben Betzelberger. Drew Hostetler back deep. And they'll blow the play dead. Flag is down. Might be an offside here on the kicking team.
The spot, re-kick.
That's what it'll be. So even more of an opportunity for Siegel to have its best starting field position of the night.
Yeah, you're kind of in these uncharted waters. I mean, when you're in training camp, you're going over installs, you're going over your base, you're trying to find personnel. You're not working on what if we get backed up twice on our kickoff return. So this is just new area, new positions on the field these guys kind of have to adapt to. It'll be interesting to see how Siegel lines up now that they know that Shelbyville is kind of going to look for a boot kick around the 50 or 40-yard line, just trying to stop a return.
Yeah, kicking it off from the 7 now. Betzelberger puts it on a tee. And the Siegel return men are standing on their own 35. He'll pooch it towards midfield. It'll roll to the far sideline and scooped up by Hostetler, weaving down that sideline across the 30, tripped up at the 25. And that gets this Siegel crowd on its feet. The Stars offense will come out for by far their best starting field position of the night inside the 25 of Shelbyville.
What a great return by Hostetler right there. If your offense can't get it going, your defense has missed some opportunities, special teams can make the difference. And it can set up, give you that extra juice you need to get your offense in good field position. I mean, he doesn't play around the field. He doesn't pitter-patter left or right. He gets vertical and gains as many yards to get into the opposite side of the field as possible.
Let's go back down to Sammy Kincaid to talk a little more about Shelbyville running back Rocky Chandler.
Yeah, you guys were talking about Rocky Chandler earlier tonight and how he's still committed to MTSU. I just talked to the coaching staff, and he actually had surgery on his ACL on Tuesday. I was told it was a very successful surgery, and he starts therapy in the morning. He's at home right now watching the game, and you know he's really excited to watch Robert Bailey get his first touchdown tonight, the guy that came in for him after he got hurt.
And he's watching his defense now as it's a pass into the right flat, scampering into the end zone, Jaden Willis. Thornton to Willis. And Siegel takes advantage of that starting field position. Just like that, the Stars make it game on at home here in week 1.
And you don't want to talk emotional in football, but you got to feel for Thornton here because he's been kind of getting beat up. A lot has been put on him in this first half. Now he gets to come out, convert from great field position, get his team an opportunity to make it a one-score game.
I didn't think they were going to score in that play.
Makes it 21-12, needing the extra point for a one-score game. A.B. Tipia, the junior kicker, puts it up and through, and Shelbyville's lead is cut down to 8. Once again, by this Siegel offense, and you got to think that's going to bring some juice into that Siegel sideline.
Absolutely. I mean, for credit to Siegel, you didn't have the offensive production in the first half, but they took advantage of a few opportunities, had a few turnovers. So even though all the stats, from running back to quarterback, all the advantages were on Shelbyville's side, Siegel was able to stay into the game. They stuck to their game plan, and it's now put them in a position where they can start chipping away and come back here at the tail end of our second half.
It's going to be a fun battle down the stretch here. Stay with us for the Bart Durham player of the game. We'll tell you in the fourth quarter, as it had kind of come to a lull, right? But it was never blown out of the water. It was always a 1-2 possession game. Siegel now hanging around, cutting it back down to 8. Cameraman Jeff McBride, way up high in that Murfreesboro sky tonight. Beautiful night for it, too. How thankful is he at the crisp fall-like weather we have here in week 1?
Better than me up there, McBride. Heights are my enemy. I can never get on the scissor lift.
You wouldn't do well with that, huh?
Absolutely not.
At what point? What's the threshold?
I hate climbing up that ladder right behind us. So this press box.
Are you okay up here? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I got walls. I feel very safe.
Okay.
And I got you here with me, so no one's going to hurt me.
You're always safe when you're with me.
Thank you.
Shelbyville getting ready to receive the opening, or not opening, but Siegel kickoff after the touchdown. It's fielded at the 20, weaving up to the 30 and chopped down at the 35. Is Maddox Wright, the senior receiver. So now does Shelbyville have an answer?
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, for them, they just kind of have to keep doing what they're doing. I think they're they did okay with the zone game and Bailey started to chip away, they might look to kind of expand on their run game, but their gap schemes have been huge. They've been doing one pulls with the tackle. They've had counter plays where they're pulling both. I think they've had some backside tight end motion, so they might just stick to the gap since it's been their bread and butter.
Adam Renshaw looks on as he looks for a response from his defense. Robert Bailey, after a 31-yard touchdown on the last drive, spins out of some trouble at the line of scrimmage, but ultimately taken down. Making the tackle was Maddox Wright. Colby Ward, the linebacker, who calls the plays for the Siegel defense. Directs the traffic for his teammates. See him wearing number 6 there in the middle of that 3-4 lineup. But Siegel sending some numbers up front here on 2nd and 8. Bobo looking to throw. Under pressure. Flings it downfield, and it'll go out into the Shelbyville sideline. Brings up 3rd and 8.
The Siegel defensive ends and outside linebackers have been they've been really stepping it up here in the second half. They're getting pressure on that last rush there. They attack the line of scrimmage, hands into the chest of the tight end and the tackles, and they're getting backfield pressure. So it's forcing Bobo, Bailey, all these guys into positions where they're kind of out of their assignment. So they've been able to do really well. A chance to get their offense back on the field here on 3rd down.
Bailey on the left hip of Bobo here. Sophomore gathering the call from his offensive coordinator, J.C. Hunsaker. Part of that coaching staff that initially, when Judd Dryden was hired, only included Hunsaker and Dryden. Staff now up to 12 members. Bobo's going to run around the left side, and he is swarmed. Nothing going there. And the Siegel defense comes up big. It was Jesse Beverly leading the way. And Shelbyville with a 3 and out will have to send out the punt team. Momentum, Siegel.
Yeah, Shelbyville, when we were coming into the game, they want their identity to be spread, attack all parts of the field. They've had their most success in between the tackles. So it's kind of, they have success in this game doing one thing, but they want their offensive philosophy to be another thing. So it's kind of like they're kind of getting out of their groove a little bit that they found.
Punt team back on the field. Siegel will get it back in a 1-possession game. It's low, it's bouncing, and he is swarmed and hit. Disaster strikes again for the Shelbyville punt team. Jackson Them didn't have a chance at it, and this Siegel offense will have a short field for the 2nd drive in a row.
The Siegel special teams have kept them on the field. On one end, from their effort and their playmaking and reducing big plays. On another end, that's Shelbyville's operation. I mentioned it earlier in the first half. We're kind of seeing a shift of the goals. We told Shelbyville they have to sort of stay on the field, and Siegel, they have to keep operation. Well, now Shelbyville got the lead, and their operation is starting to falter.
Both coaches told us this week special teams is a huge factor. It was in week 1 last year when these two met, a 55-43 win for Siegel. The first ever meeting between the two programs, and it certainly has been this time around. That's the 2nd turnover on a punt by that Shelbyville punting unit.
Andrew Varner's getting his left knee looked at right now.
1st and 10 for Siegel. Screening it out to the left side is Thornton. It'll bounce incomplete in front of Drew Hosteller.
Talk about 1st down. That's something that's just a tough one. You're in the maroon zone. You need positive yards. Start chipping away at this line of scrimmage and this 1st down marker.
Renshaw calling out the plays. In year 5 as the head coach at Siegel, led this team to its first postseason appearance in a decade last year. The 5-6 campaign, going 2-3 in a brutally tough Region 3 6A, facing the likes of Riverdale, Blackman, Oakland on a weekly basis. High snap, but Thornton able to get it off. And bowling over a defender. Down to the 24 is Albia. How much would you like to see Siegel kind of settle back into the run game a little bit?
Well, I would have loved that run with Albia right there on 1st down. Then maybe hit your edges and start spreading them out on 2nd. We're kind of, we're just kind of out of a groove on offense. So, this 3rd down is absolutely huge for Siegel right now.
So here's 3rd and 7. Thornton with the option, goes up the middle and flipped at the 20. That's going to be close. He might be a yard short. And this could be decision time for Adam Renshaw.
And I like that read there by Thornton. Thornton saw open grass, so he immediately, I mean, you cannot hesitate if you're going to quarterback and pull on that option. So he just puts his foot in the ground and gives him a chance on 4th down. Watch Thornton right here. Doesn't even look around. He keeps his eye on his read and just gets upfield. A little bit of a reach there. Scary when you want to protect the football.
They're going to go on 4th and 2. Thornton claps his hands with early movement. Flag is down. We'll see which way it goes, and he's talking to his left tackle. False start will be the call.
Replay 4th down.
Princeton Uefo, the very talented 6'5", 286-pound sophomore. He's already getting looks. An offer from SMU coming in. He's made a visit to the University of Tennessee. But it backs up Siegel to make it 4th and 7. Offense is going to stay on the field.
And they're doing one of my biggest pet peeves. We have the offense out there with hands up in the air, hands up in the air. I mean, you might as well tell the defense, I don't know what's going on right now. Get on your heels. So time to lock in for Siegel.
Thornton looks to throw. Over the middle, caught by the tight end. Matthew Rice makes the grab. It's right at the sticks. As we await the signal, Siegel player saying it should be a chain mover.
We had a good action off the play action right there.
It'll be a turnover on downs. They'll rule him short, and Shelbyville's offense will come back out after a bullet dodged with the special teams miscue that allowed Siegel the short field.
And, I mean, you look at that and you start thinking to yourself, if we just got anything on 1st down, and maybe we could open up on 2nd down, those inches and those yards matter. So we get here on 4th and inches, and you have a chance to tie up the game, get into scoring position, and you lose it. You just can't give these opportunities up.
So here comes Shelbyville once again. Robert Bailey, who has had himself a night, is going to have to carry, and he drops it. Fumble. Body's falling on it. Who's ending up with it? That's Siegel football. And that might be the biggest pop we've heard from this crowd tonight as the Stars capitalize again on a Shelbyville mistake. 2nd turnover forced by this Siegel defense. And the offense will be back on the field like it never left after a 1-play drive.
Man, if you do anything in life, you know that there's not a lot of chances at second chances, but Siegel gets a 3rd and a 4th here. So another opportunity to get even closer on the other side of the field after we had, a kickoff from the 5, and then we've had a turnover. So they once again, from their special teams and their defense, get a chance to have a short field.
And it was the senior leader, Colby Ward, falling on it for Siegel. So here comes the offense once again. This is Albia with the handoff, and he's bouncing off tacklers across the 15, and there's that 1st down carry you were looking for.
Absolutely. Get Albia, get him on between the tackles, get 3 to 4. Now we can start opening up. Maybe we could go back to Albia. Now that the linebackers are going to be on their toes a little bit, we can maybe attack over the middle. We could get Jennifer involved if we wanted to try and switch up here when we get to our goal line. It'll be interesting to see what Siegel chooses to operate with.
It's a 4-yard pickup. 2nd and 6 here. Siegel inside the 15. Thornton fires a dart over the middle, tumbling into the end zone. Touchdown, Siegel. Drew Hostetler. And the Stars make it a 2-point game, turning the fumble recovery into 6.
Thornton coming alive when it matters. When he's in this maroon and red zone, he's been very effective. Hostetler, he was on that special teams play earlier with that way back kickoff. He got vertical, and he does the same exact thing here. Nothing pretty, nothing fancy. I'm going to put my foot in the ground and get in the end zone, fall at the goal line, give Siegel a chance to tie up the game.
It's a 13-yard touchdown connection. The Siegel offense will remain out there to try and tie it up. How about Tristan Thornton, the junior quarterback? Tough start to this game, but hanging in the 3rd quarter.
That's what you want to see out of your quarterback. Compose. Ready when there is opportunity to, seize the moment. Not freak out when things go bad.
Hostetler's the man in motion, and he'll get the little pop pass from Thornton. Makes a good second effort out of it, but he's going to be short. It will remain a Shelbyville lead with 3:36 to play in the third. But Siegel does capitalize on the turnover as Hostetler tried to drag some defenders into the end zone, didn't get there.
So there's still a chance. I mean, this has been the longest half quarter probably in Shelbyville history. They just can't seem to not make that critical mistake. So you just got to come back out there, kind of do what Siegel's doing. Maybe go back to Bailey on your first down. Stop rolling out with Bobo unless you're going to do a quick to his brother over on the edge. I mean, just get things that keep you on the field. I know that last fumble was kind of a procedure thing on Bailey, but we have to secure those things now.
Shelbyville took a 14-6 lead into the half, scored early in the third to make it 21-6. That was the largest lead of the night, but back-to-back touchdowns by Siegel have it at a 2-point game. Don't forget, Fridays at 6:30, Fox 17 Football Frenzy is live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. This year it's a pregame show, and Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick is getting you ready for all the high school football games. See the fans, the interviews, and more Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss it. Fox 17 Football Frenzy live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust, who is proud to sponsor our local schools and student athletes both on and off the field. Great to see Jill Jelnick in the house tonight here at Siegel High School. Taking in an exciting opener here in week one as the kickoff is picked up on the bounce by Bobo and carried across the 25 before he's swallowed up. Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend starts tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow as the Page Patriots host the Giles County Bobcats, and then Saturday with Brentwood Academy and CPA, a loaded triple header right here on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. As you get a look at the scoring summary, 2 plays, 17 yards, only 37 seconds after the fumble recovery by Colby Ward set it up.
And it's hard to watch this second half Shelbyville team seeing what we saw for their first drive of the game. Methodical, long play drive. I mean, I thought there was a chance they just take over this game, but right now they're really struggling.
Bobo gives to Bailey and able to grab 2 or 3 yards out of it. You feel like Siegel's really responded well in the run game. Looked like Bailey could get whatever he wanted in the first 2.5 quarters.
Well, the Shelbyville O-line was doing a great job at connecting on the D-line and staying tucked in. Now it seems like the D-line are attacking the Shelbyville offensive line. They're getting them just into the backfield. That way they're on different levels. So the defensive linemen and the ends and outside linebackers, they can kind of shoot through and engage.
They'll stick to it here, and Bailey's going to break through at the 45, across midfield. Now it's a foot race. Robert Bailey stiff arms at the 20, still on his feet, and he's out. Inside the 20 is where they'll mark it at the 17, and they couldn't keep him down for long. A 53-yard gain for the junior. And that's a BMC Metalworks first down for Shelbyville. Just the spark they needed on offense, but here's a late flag. Might be a sideline warning against Shelbyville. So the run will stand, and that brings Robert Bailey up to 215 yards on the night with a touchdown on 25 carries.
I'm interested. I don't know if we're waiting on a call. I do know we have a Siegel player down on the field right on the end zone at the end of that run. It looks like it's just cramps again. This is where we're starting to get that week 1, week 0 hydration, soft tissue. I mean, you can only practice so much to kind of replicate this game speed level. So it is going to start affecting guys. I mean, we see how much Shelbyville struggle, but Bailey just being able to run those feet, it's really starting to wear on this Siegel defense, who's been on the field a lot today.
Yeah, still awaiting the ruling from John Young as they work on Corey Jennifer, the cornerback and running back. Really important player for this team on both sides of the ball, the junior track star. Hopefully that is all it is cramps. You can see his frustration. What was the best method for you to avoid cramping up in week 1?
This is going to be a tough one to admit. but when you're an offensive lineman and you wear those Don Joy knee braces, you don't feel your legs at all. They could have been cramping for all I know. I tore my PCL my redshirt freshman year at Tennessee, and I didn't even notice until the bus ride home with the swelling, because those Don Joy knee braces, they'll take care of you from I hated them, but they'll take care of you from a kind of numbing you sort of sense. So
now most people hear that and have no idea what you're talking about. Give me a brief description here.
Yeah, so the Don Joy knee braces, if you ever watched the college game, a lot of colleges require them. They're just really thick knee braces. They're 4 pieces, so they go 2 levels on your thigh, 2 levels on your calf, and they just kind of keep your ligaments extra strength. They add extra reinforcement. The second I started playing pro ball, I threw them in the garbage the last game I had. So they did me a lot of good, but they're very restrictive. But a lot of the high school guys, they get to play free form. So
that or pickle juice.
You got the pickle juice. I've seen it all, though. You got the pickle juice. What is it? Mustard also?
Mustard?
I really don't. I think the pickle juice is smart. I really don't believe in any other sort of method. So
here we go.
Oh, Don Joy right there.
There you go. All right,
sir.
there it is. Excellent work by our crew in the truck, as always. Another give for Robert Bailey. The penalty flag was just a sideline warning, so Bailey burrows under a pile. And after a quick 2, it'll bring up 2nd and 8. Shelbyville milking some clock here.
Milk the clock. Absolutely no turnovers. Procedure must be to a T, because even if you go 4th down over here and you fail, you're on the complete opposite side of the field. So you want to just keep Siegel at a disadvantage. No dangerous throws. Just play to your base.
Shelbyville's led the whole way tonight at Ken Nolan Stadium in this Week 1 opener. Bailey gets another crack at it. That's to fight through tacklers for a yard, maybe 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
You can see the Shelbyville guys, they kind of want to get on the ball and get going, but I know you have to play smart, you have to play to the clock. Now, a lot of people, they're like, well, when you start playing to the clock, it gets you out of your groove, your football killer instinct a little bit, but I do believe it is the right choice. I mean, you just have to. Siegel has not proven to go all the way down the field yet. So if you have an opportunity to at least keep him here, I'd take it.
But with how much Judge Dryden talks about the weight room and how he wants that to extend onto the football field, it's got to be moments like this, right, where you want to see that as the head coach.
Absolutely. And we get another counterplay. This has been their most successful run so far.
And that time it's stymied at the 10. And not enough for the 1st down, as it will bring up a 4th and short with a minute to go in the 3rd.
You see right there the backside 2 pull, and there was a decent hole right there. It was a great job by the Seagull outside linebacker to fill in, because you saw the second puller go up for the lane right there. If he was able to kick out the edge again, it could have been a big play, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. It was still a decent operation, and I would take that run any day of the week.
There you see Princeton Uefo trying to clog up the middle here on this 4th and 4. Bobo's going to keep, weaves through tackles. He's down at the 1. That's where they'll rule him, but it's a 1st down for Shelbyville. Brought to you by BMC Metalworks, an industry leader in CNC machining and steel fabrication services, celebrating its 50th year anniversary here in 2024. 1st and goal, Shelbyville.
And sorry for interrupting, but it's just so tough when you have a guy like Bailey who's kind of methodical. He's not really changing his speed too much until he gets to the open side. But then you get Bobo, who's kind of like quick twitch. So the defense, they're kind of in a mood guarding against Bailey. Now that Bobo, he just turns it up, and the speed catches everyone off guard.
Bailey bullies into the end zone. Touchdown, Shelbyville. What a response from the visitors. Giving up back-to-back touchdowns, one off a fumble by Robert Bailey. And he tells Coach, give me the football, scoring for the 2nd time tonight.
I mean, great job by Bailey, especially the Shelbyville O-line, just getting them one-on-one. But you kind of see the Seagull defense. I mean, there's just, even though some things have gone their way here in the 3rd quarter, there's just a lack of energy, and it's not even motivation or anything. I mean, they physically are starting to struggle. The oxygen is not getting to their muscles well enough, and it's really starting to hammer home.
Extra point is clipped in by Betzelberger, and Robert Bailey is having himself a night. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns on 29 carries. 7 ticks left on the 3rd quarter clock, and again, it's so fascinating to talk to head coach Judge Dryden about his mindset as a coach. about being a strength guy first. Says he studies the strength and conditioning aspect almost more than football itself, and talks about the only way to improve being to embrace failure in the weight room, and just how much he loves the way that translates into football. He just wants his team to carry that identity. And Bruno, if that drive doesn't display that identity, I don't know what does.
Well, when you talk about a transition of levels, whether it be different levels in the high school, 1 through 6A, or maybe, a playoff team versus the best teams have the strength to keep up a level of play, right? I mean, that's the hardest thing, is some people just aren't strong enough to stay consistent through 4 quarters. I think Shelbyville, for all the mental mistakes they've had, they've kept the same pace of play the entire game, and that is just brutal to keep up with, especially in week 1. That is unusual.
7 ticks left on the third quarter clock. Betzelberger sends it away. A good kickoff that's fielded right at the 1. And bringing it out, swung down at the 20-yard line is Siegel's Braylon Turner. As that brings us to the end of the third quarter, Shelbyville takes a couple punches but marches down the field to re-extend the lead as it's 28-19 after 3. This is the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Three quarters down, 1 to go at Siegel High School, where the Shelbyville Golden Eagles lead the Seagull Stars 28-19 here in week 1. Stay with us. The Bass Tire stop of the game coming up later on in the fourth quarter as the Stars try and stay in it. The offense back out on the field, trailing by 9 after Robert Bailey's second touchdown of the night. Welcome back to the broadcast booth here at Ken Nolan Stadium. Tristan Thornton, the junior quarterback, is swarmed in the backfield, lets it go. Play still alive. Albia, the running back, just trying to fight off tacklers. He will be dropped for a loss. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Sammy Kincaid is down on the sidelines. And Siegel just needs to get something going on offense here.
Yeah, I mean, they have been successful in offense, but it's when they have their field position, right? I mean, right here we see Shelbyville. They have a little angle call, so they blitz on the backside with the linebacker, and they send the front side lineman over to the other side. That just gives an open lane to, I mean, really attack that quarterback through his progression. And Thornton's had a tough time with offense on his own side of the field.
Man is down. Brody Laverne being looked at over on the Shelbyville sideline. Makes the calls for this Golden Eagle defense. See if he can't make his way back in here. The senior linebacker. Here's 2nd and 14 after the loss of 4. Thornton pump fakes, throws. Caught at the 20, and falling forward is Braylon Turner, the junior. So that'll make up some of the lost yardage from the 1st and 10 play. We'll kick it back down to Sammy for a quick comment here early in the 4th.
Hey, you guys, I was listening in over on the Seagull side and listening specifically to offensive line coach Kyle Turnbow, who's actually a Shelbyville grad, but he was telling the offense as a whole, make sure you just play your piece of the puzzle. If you play your piece of the puzzle, it'll all come together. Don't overthink it. Don't try to do the guy next year's job. Just play your piece of the puzzle.
Thank you, Sammy. Again, it was a Siegel offensive line coming into the season that Adam Renshaw said, it is the strength of our team, something that, according to him, had been average in the last couple of years. And there you see the offensive line coach himself directing traffic, and it's something Siegel will want to hang their hat on here over the course of the rest of this 4th quarter.
Yeah, I mean, Shelbyville, it's interesting they're going on because they're using very basic movement, but you're just practicing so much base stuff from an offensive standpoint. It's kind of up in the air if you're able to work on movement stuff this early into the season. So I think Shelbyville's really just been, using that, especially when they're backed up.
Punting it away again here. It's Tipia after the incompletion over the middle of the field on 3rd down. It'll give Shelbyville a short field as it ends up being downed right around the 40-yard line by Mason Grisham. They'll spot it at the 36.
Man, if Shelbyville really wants to hang their hat on their, their conditioning, their strength, their tempo, the way they can stay consistent through the game, now would be the time to do it, because we sort of hit kind of a lull with the energy from everything, from a crowd to on the field. It's kind of like people are just out there to survive. So if we get, I know Bailey and Bobo are going to come out to play, but if the rest of the Shelbyville offensive line, they can really start to separate the gap here late into the 4th.
Stephen Bobo, the sophomore quarterback, the younger brother of William Bobo, the receiver and defensive back, who has a 36-yard touchdown off a screen thrown by his brother from the 1st half. Stephen takes the snap, hands off. Bailey. He's had a massive night, and that continues here. 20-10. Robert Bailey cannot be stopped as a flag does fly. 2 flags go down inside the 10-yard line. So they come in very late, but Bailey had a big hole through the line of scrimmage, and that would put him at 258 yards on the night if it stands.
Looks like the penalty just went against Shelbyville from the call. It looked like a block in the back right around the 5-yard line in the middle of the field. I don't know if that was both the flags that went down and it was the same call, but it will be against
Block in the
Shelbyville.
back, number 7 of the offense during the run. 10-yard penalty from the spot of foul. Be 1st down.
This is one of those tough ones. Sorry to interrupt, but this is one of those tough ones. We can see number 7 as he comes top of the screen, and to me, that's clean. But to the referee are the ones calling the game, okay? And that's one block where you're already late down the field. I don't want to say don't play championship level football, but it's one of those where you have to just be careful. And, Siegel gets off with that one.
That's Jay Whitelow called for it. It is still a UA local 572 1st down for the Golden Eagles, as Bobo might have forced an early jump there from the Siegel defensive front.
Siegel defense has been jumping a lot, especially on these quick counts.
So it'll be a free 5 yards for the Golden Eagles. As Stephen Bobo, not just a legacy with his older brother on the field, but his grandfather, John T. Bobo, was a running back for Tennessee Tech in the late 60s. Played his high school ball in the area as well. On the run, he throws out a screen to the left side. It hit the ground before it ended up with Maddox right. So incomplete to bring up 2nd and 5.
Shelbyville trying to stay true to their attack, spread offense, attack the edges style.
Yeah, right.
And you don't want to just rely on Bailey. I mean, Bobo's had a great game too, but when Bobo kind of is shooting these edge shots, that's when they've gotten to a little bit of turnover trouble. So as much as I want to keep the young man healthy, I mean, Bailey would be a great one, and this could be a drive that really separates the score, so I would really hang my hat on my bell cow.
See if they hand it to 31 here. 2 touchdowns tonight. Ball on the ground. Bobo falls on it. Heads up play by the sophomore quarterback. Ends up being a loss, but a 3rd and long rather than a turnover.
Yeah, you can be as big, as strong, as tough, and as football smart as you want. But if you can't control the offense and the procedure, you're going to always have a chance to let the other team into the game. I mean, this is a game where you look at the stat sheet, it shouldn't even be close. But just because of small procedures and turnovers, Siegel has had a chance.
3-yard loss. It's 3rd and 8. Bailey and Bobo have led the charge tonight for the visiting Golden Eagles, trying to avenge a Week 1 shootout loss from a year ago. They've had the lead since the opening drive ended in a touchdown. Bobo wants to throw, pump fakes, he's hit, he's sacked in the backfield. That was Mason Grisham coming downhill, and the junior outside linebacker makes it 4th and long.
Great play by Grisham. I mean, but this was one of the few times it looked like they kept Bobo in the pocket. And if you're able to keep, because he made his mistakes on the outside where they're designed rollouts, but if you make him roll out on his own volition away from the play, that's another chance for Siegel to, maybe force another turnover. So great job there by number 5, Mason Grisham. You can see him coming on the edge, and yeah, Bailey, you want to try and attack that block right there so it creates some space. I mean, you're not going to be able to block a guy with the heels into the ground. And as hard as Bailey has played all night, that's one of those things as running back, it's kind of a thankless job. You have to become an offensive lineman sometimes.
There's a loss of 6. Kona ice. Nice and cold, ready to go here in Week 1. Beautiful night for some season opening high school football. Beautiful weekend for it. Don't forget, this is Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend. We've got more football coming your way tomorrow night from Page. Patriots playing host to Giles County, a great matchup of 2 programs that have been on the cusp of a state championship over the last 3 years. And, of course, Saturday, CPA hosting Brentwood Academy in a big D2 rivalry. Also, the Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game coming up later this quarter. Who to choose from tonight. 4th and 14. Shelbyville's going to kick it.
Hey, kicking.
This is a 40-yard field goal try. The kicker is Ben Betzelberger. The holder is Shavers. It's on the way, has plenty of distance, and it's no good. Just pushed it wide. And Siegel's offense will come back out on the field, down 9 with 9 minutes to go at home.
I like that call. For one, it gives you a chance to see if Betzelberger can kind of, monitor his distance in a game-time situation. Like, I would be encouraged to, obviously, you want to score, and as a coach, you have to be, on the spot a little bit critical. But I think Betzelberger does have, potential from that range. That's something you can acknowledge as you go into the season. And, it was kind of an awkward scoring situation where you're still up by 2 scores, so might as well go and see what the youngin can do.
Had plenty of distance on it.
Looked like it was good from our angle, but that's why I got to trust the refs and the monitor.
So here comes the Siegel offense, starting on their own 20. And the challenge, Bruno, is to build a long drive without a short field advantage as you get another look at the miss.
Yeah, you can kind of see the initial angle. I mean, it was just off.
On 1st down, the end around. Coming around the left side is Albia, the running back, and he's pushed out after a gain of 3. So you've seen Siegel capitalize on short fields, on turnovers, have yet to see them put together a long, sustained drive, and they need it now more than ever.
And we've seen Albia have some pretty decent runs, but it comes in, really backed up at unadvantageous positions. Right there on 1st down, you're able to get 3. Well, now you can maybe start chipping away. You could go back and create a 3rd and manageable, or a lot of different options.
Spread things out here. Thornton, middle of the field, caught Hostetler, but It was sniffed out well. All over it. On the tackle was Nate Zimmerman.
But now you get to a 3rd and manageable, about 3rd and 5 and some change, maybe 3rd and 6. But a lot of your routes, they kind of extend out of 7, where you can attack underneath, maybe hitch in, or if you want to go for a play action, that's where you can kind of hit that fake when maybe the defense doesn't know if it could be run or pass, because there's still an option to run here.
3rd and 6. Siegel still with all 3 timeouts. Pressure coming. Thornton going deep. Hostetler's there. It's caught. Hostetler tripped up at the 30. But it's a huge play in the passing game for a UA local 572 first down Siegel. 46 yards on the connection between Thornton and Hostetler.
Just when you think Siegel is starting to run out of gas, Thornton and Hostetler take over with one of their big plays, all right? And this is the first play I think we've seen from their own side of the field to make a large explosive play and convert. So let's see if they can use that momentum and start taking over this late 4th quarter.
What a throw, what a catch. Quarterback Tristan Thornton to his junior classmate Drew Hostetler. He'll toss it out to the left side with a little bit of room. Scampering out is Corey Jennifer. Flag flies late as Jennifer tumbles into his home sideline.
Not sure what the call will be here. Didn't get it, but it was on the sideline as the referees talk.
It was only Jennifer's 5th carry of the game. John Young will give us the call.
After the play, personal foul. Late hit, number 20 of the defense. Half the distance to go, first down.
15 yards. Excuse me, half the distance, but either way, Siegel marches closer and into the red zone.
We watch right here as he starts to get out of bounds. Yep, I mean, the slow motion kind of plays into it, but you can't have it. Nate Zimmerman right there, just a little bit of a late hit. Got to play smart.
Jennifer gets the give, dances out of a tackle, trying to get the edge, can't do it. Loses a couple on the play as he's muscled out by Wright. Stops the clock, 7:24 to go. Still plenty of time for Siegel here. 2-possession game at home. Trying to mount a comeback here in week 1 and only the 2nd ever meeting between these 2 programs.
Also into 4-down territory here for Siegel. They don't need the touchdown, but
y'all should get a shot of the move.
Another flag flies before the snap. Could be on the defense.
Number 6, he's 67 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. 3-play 2nd down.
That's on junior nose tackle Colton Clardy.
Something I noticed is Shelbyville is really trusting that man defense over there on the left side with the open field. There's a lot of space for these receivers to work if they want to get the ball over to them one-on-one. I know number 2 for Siegel, Kevin Ensley, has done a great job on the defensive side. This would be a good chance for him to get a rep.
It's the 14th penalty on the Golden Eagles, and here's a near turnover. Thornton picks it up on the bounce. Flag flies late. Ball sails out of bounds. Excuse me, not a flag. It was just the marker as the ball hit the turf. And Siegel avoids disaster there.
So Thornton was looking the way I wanted to over out the field with number 2, Kevin Ensley, but, you know, the earliest swat out, he wasn't able to recover the football, and I think he made the smart play to live and fight another day by throwing it away.
Here's 3rd and 6. The offside makes it much more manageable for Siegel here. 135 yards in penalties against Shelbyville tonight. Thornton looks right, throws that way, it's dropped. Jennifer unable to hang on, and it brings up 4th down.
It can be frustrating when you're Jennifer and, you know, you've probably gotten a weaker workload than you thought you would have, but when you have a chance to get the ball, you really got to convert on those, even if it's just capturing and falling down with it, because now you're facing a 4th and long in a must-score situation.
Little bit
Ball could have been led better.
Right.
Jennifer also could have used his hands there. It kind of went right through his hands into his chest. Someone's got to kind of step up there and make the play, whether it be the pass or the reception.
Either way, A.B. Tipia has a shot to make it a one-possession game from 27 yards. He gets it up, and it's good. Siegel not going anywhere. They cut the Golden Eagle lead to 6 with just over 7 minutes to play here in week 1 in the first of a Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend triple header. It's the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals presented by Bart Durham Injury. Shelbyville 28, Siegel 22, cutting the lead to 6 after a 27-yard field goal by A.B. Tipia. As we come back with 7 minutes to play, we take a break for financial literacy with Wilson Bank and Trust.
At the beginning of every football season, a team sits down and makes a game plan. Let Wilson Bank and Trust help you create your financial game plan. Protect your credit while navigating real-life obstacles by paying off credit cards and bills each month. Financial goals requires complex decisions and smart budgeting. It's always a good idea to prepare now for the future. Like every great coach knows their team, we know our community. We understand your needs and have the winning plays to help you achieve success. Let's craft a game-winning financial strategy that fits you.
6-point game, over 7 minutes to play from Murfreesboro. A bit of a heartland for high school football here in the Mid-State. A stone's throw away from Oakland High School, Riverdale, under a blood moon. At least that's what I'm told. Siegel set to kick it off after a 27-yard field goal by A.B. Tipia. How are you on your moons?
Oh, I'm not too sure, but if you showed that to someone a long time ago, probably would have been a sign of something ominous to come. We'll see if that translates to the football field or not.
Certainly Shelbyville will hope that does not apply to them tonight on the road. They've led the whole way. And they'll get the ball back here. This is Bobo working his way up the right sideline. Nice spin move, gets him up to the 40. And the Golden Eagle offense will come back out. Should we expect another heavy dose of running back Robert Bailey here?
Yeah, I mean, his workload's starting to get up there, like, to unreasonable levels. So it's interesting. That's something where you have to have good communication between player and coach, see where you're at. Because you have guys like Bobo out there. I mean, both of them. You have one on the edge, one behind center, and they both have a dynamic run attack to them well, something different than Bailey. But you need that clock to start churning. You can't give Siegel any time to work with. If you give them the ball again, but they have short time, it at least hampers them just a little bit.
Both these teams trying to get off to a good start here in 2024. It is Bailey, shakes a tackle, breaks it right, lowers the shoulder past the 45, and he's driven backwards. But it's a nice gain on first down by Robert Bailey. A pickup of 8. That brings him up to 257 yards on the night and 2 touchdowns on 31 carries.
I mentioned it. You see Corey Jennifer, number 11. He comes in at the bottom of your screen. He lowers the shoulder. When we were talking about our players to come into the game, it's both of those young men right there. We got Bailey and Jennifer. Jennifer out of the quarter spot. He's like the last line of defense in the secondary. And, I mean, it's kind of poetic that our 2 players of the game coming down to the fourth are battling for the yards that they need.
6 minutes to go, clock ticking. Bailey makes a move, breaks free. Robert Bailey at the 20, stiff arm, 15. Bailey still on his feet. Bailey in the end zone. 53 yards, and Robert Bailey cannot be stopped. 1,000-yard rusher in 2023. He's almost a third of the way there in week 1. Over 300 yards on the night, and Shelbyville extends the lead.
Once again, a great job by the Shelbyville offensive line to get the defensive line hampered up, get just an inch or two of movement. That way the linebackers come down. They have trouble filling the hole. And Bailey, I mean, you asked me, do you go back to Bailey in this drive? And Shelbyville's answer is, duh. So we have, I mean, it was such an impressive game by Bailey. And if the score keeps going the way it is, I would assume we might have our player of the game.
Extra point is no good, but it is a 2-possession game. 12-point lead for the Golden Eagles after Robert Bailey's 3rd touchdown with under 6 minutes to go. As we get another look at the 53-yard break by Bailey at midfield.
I mean, I love it just because that is nothing but just simple inside or medium zone right there. You get your guys, you tell them, you two block these two, up to one linebacker, you two block this guy, up to another linebacker, and we're going to say our players, specifically Bailey, are going to feel better than their secondaries, their free guys, the one guy you always have free from the offensive side of the football looking at their defense. And Bailey, I mean, he does not disappoint.
6 minutes left of action tonight and plenty left over the course of the weekend. Our Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend continues and picks up tomorrow night at 6:30. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. This year, it's a pregame show, and Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick is getting you ready for all the high school football games. See the fans, the interviews, and more Fridays at 6:30. Don't miss Fox 17 Football Frenzy Live, sponsored by Wilson Bank and Trust. Robert Bailey taking a well-deserved breather on the sideline. And you wonder if his name will be called upon again tonight. 2 plays, 61 yards, every one of them assigned to number 31.
I've been there, young man. I've been there, getting a quick lay down on the field, letting your muscles and body recover.
Kickoff, fielded at the goal line, and working his way to the 20 is Turner. So the Siegel offense will come back out after a long scoring drive that resulted in a 27-yard field goal by Tipia last time out. Flag does come down late here.
I believe it'll be on Shelbyville.
After the play, personal foul, late hit, number 22 of the kicking team. 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
The 15th penalty against the visitors tonight, Bruno, 150 yards.
For all the good Shelbyville has done, and I'll say whenever I coach people, the one thing I tell, I'd much rather pull you back than have to push you forward. I mean, Shelbyville's been attacking. If you watch them on special teams, they're trying to finish guys, right? But that's kind of bleeding over into after the whistle on the sideline. It's the only reason, really, Siegel's in this game. So when you go and watch the film here, I would be proud of my guys, and I talk them up, but we just have to start playing smarter.
1st and 10. Siegel on its own 36. Needing points and needing them quickly. This is Albia. Brought down from behind by Jackson Them, the freshman linebacker. It's kind of an array of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors contributing to this Shelbyville squad, and all at sort of a different stage, right? The sophomores who experienced a 10-win season last year, and the seniors that were there for a 1-win season 2 years ago. Battle scarred, so to speak, according to their head coach, Judge Ryden. Quick to remind a lot of the young players on the roster what it was like just a couple of years ago to try and keep that standard.
Absolutely. It's great to have that perspective.
Thornton going deep again here. Overshoots his man, Ensley, who was double covered. It's really been an impressive turnaround. Judge Ryden, initially hired as the strength coach and defensive coordinator in 2019, ends up taking the head job, promoted 3 years ago, and it's just he and offensive coordinator J.C. Hunsaker on staff. They're able to hire 4 more assistants. They had 6 assistant coaches that first year. That staff has ballooned up to 12 this season, and they went from 1 win in year 1 to 10 wins in year 2, ripping off a 10-game win streak after falling in week 1 to this Seagull team at Shelbyville, as that's another incomplete ball downfield from Thornton.
I like that you mentioned, the growth of the coaching staff with the growth of the program, because when you talk about football, I mean, you're playing how many snaps happen in a game? It has to be around 180, so offense, defense, special teams, both teams combined. It's 11 players on the field for one side, so you get 22, and there's a lot of moving parts. It's hard to analyze, hard to evaluate. So once you start getting more and more bodies and trust building, that's when you start to see your team kind of expand in its skill set.
6-0 last year in Region 5-5A, region champs, and Dryden was candid that this team knows if they don't compete for the region title, they've underachieved in 2024, as the punt will bounce to the 20, downed at the 18, and the Shelbyville offense will come back out and try and close this thing out here in week 1. Golden Eagles up 12 on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law.
All of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful sponsor partners, the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law, who through their contributions to the program make these games possible for you viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsor supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecast: the United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support: Shelbyville Central, and our host, Siegel High School.
Four minutes and change remaining. The Shelbyville Golden Eagles trying to ice this thing away, up 12. Behind a monster night from running back Robert Bailey. 33 carries, 319 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Just had a 9-yard carry on 1st and 10 of this drive. Welcome back. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Sammy Kincaid patrolling the sidelines. Glad to have you with us tonight on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law, the first of a Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend doubleheader, as Bailey falls forward for a UA Local 572 first down. UA Local 572, the premier trainer of workers in all aspects of the piping, plumbing, welding, and HVAC industry. Bruno, it's been impressive tonight from Shelbyville, sticking to their identity.
Absolutely. They've created one, and they really get to showcase it here in what you would call the 4-minute offense. Now you're like, Bruno Reagan, of course there's 4 minutes left. What kind of name is that? Well, this is the style of play where you go to the conservative, the top of the call sheet, your zones, your gap schemes, no play actions, no shots. You want to grind out the clock, get about 2 to 3 first downs, make them use those timeouts.
Bailey still churning those legs as he falls across the 35. There's the first timeout of the half, called by Siegel coach Adam Renshaw, and he'll bring his team in. So 12-point deficit. You got 3:05 to go. You just called your first timeout. It's about to be second down. What are you telling your team right now?
You think about nothing else but playing as hard as you can through the whistle, because we've seen Shelbyville, they do have the capacity to make major mistakes, right? So you just got to be on the spot, because, forbid the ball rolls towards you and you're just lolling asleep and you're not prepared. That could give you a chance to get a score, maybe an onside kick. You got to always just stay in the moment. We'll talk about the game once that clock hits 0-0-0-0.
Did have an impressive moment in the first half for the Siegel Stars for our Bass Tire stop of the game. As we'll take a look at it, was this interception on the goal line as Stephen Bobo went deep, the lefty looking for his man, and it was picked off by the veteran safety, Kevin Ensley.
Great job by Kevin Ensley there. He really stepped up this game. One of the bright spots for Siegel, I believe. Offense, and he had a few chances on offense, had a great turnover on defense there. Really, that was the play that kind of kept him in this game for the long term.
Bass Tire, serving Nashville for over 35 years. In Murfreesboro tonight, we'll be in Franklin tomorrow. Page hosting Giles County right here on MyTV 30. And in Brentwood on Saturday, CPA versus Brentwood Academy. As for the first time tonight, we see Robert Bailey get a breather. The sophomore back, Nate Zimmerman, comes in with an 8-yard carry. His first tote of the night.
Nate Zimmerman getting a chance to kind of redeem himself after that late hit earlier in the red zone. Now he gets to sort of tote the rock and be the 4-down back.
UA Local 572 for Zimmerman. Called his name a few times tonight on the defensive side of the ball. Stephen Bobo. His first career start at quarterback. Again, it's a give to Zimmerman, just battling through tackles across midfield.
I know the game has kind of hit its own stride, and we're sort of, kind of playing out the semantics now, but there's just something that makes me smile ear to ear about watching a young man hold the ball with two hands over under when he has 5 yards left to right. He's just like, I'm going to hold on to the football, and I'm going to do my job. I like it. For as undisciplined as Shelbyville has been at times, it's good to see them operate this style of offense here to end the game.
Well, and for you, a former center, how fun is a moment like this in a game for a guy like Ian Matisek? Again, one of those seniors that played a lot of snaps in that 1-10 season 2 years ago, got to be a part of a 10-win campaign last year, and now just grinding away on a potential game-sealing drive here.
It's funny you ask that, because the 4-minute offense sucks, but as an offensive lineman, you have psyopsed yourself so much to kind of embrace the suck, so to speak, that once you get here, your blood's boiling. You're just trying hard to listen to your snap count, listen to the procedure, but you're going to fire off the ball, especially because it's your last chance to hit someone else that hasn't been your teammate for the past, year now. So,
no doubt. Both of these teams eager to get out here. You could feel the buzz on the field pregame after a long preseason. Kicking off the 2024 high school football season in Tennessee. Zimmerman up the middle. Tumbles down across the 40. As you see big Princeton Uwaifo come off the field as a helmet comes off. The sophomore, 6'5", 286, bright future for the Siegel Stars on both sides of the ball, getting a lot of looks as a left tackle. And that's a proud man tonight. Shelbyville head coach Judd Dryden looking like he'll start his third season 1-0 before they head back home to host Marshall County next week. And they'll kick off 5A region play where they're the defending champs at home week 4 against Columbia.
And it's so hard to win on the road, especially against a team like Siegel, who is well-versed and just tough as nail teams and tough as nail games here in this Murfreesboro area. You got to feel good if you're on the Siegel sideline tonight.
Zimmerman up the middle again. Siegel getting ready to go on a 3-game road trip, starting with a trip to Laverne next week. They'll head to Smyrna in week 3 and then begin 3-6A region play at Coffee County And that feels like a big game, right? That Coffee County matchup right before you get into the Blackman, Oakland, Riverdale type of stretch.
Absolutely, and you said it. And excuse me, I meant Shelbyville earlier in my last comment because if you're Siegel, you're kind of staring down the barrel of the gun right now. It's going to be a tough slate, and you have a lot to work off with this film here, but you just have to find a way to come out better in the first and second half. I mean, first down is going to be a priority. We see they have big play potential, but I mean, we've already talked about it. They're in an absolute meat grinder of a division in a region.
Shelbyville 1-0, Siegel 0-1 after the first night of the 2024 high school football season and the first of a Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend triple header here on MyTV 30. Final score is Shelbyville 34, Siegel 22, and we'll get a look at our Tennessee Army National Guard play of the game that really sealed it for the visiting Golden Eagles, a 53-yard touchdown run by who else but Robert Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, there was no question going into it. I'm glad we didn't even have to talk about it. Robert Bailey had an absolute star center of the game. He was hitting the stride real well. He had great breakout speed. He was scraping the paint. He showed that he can be a zone gap runner and a successful gap runner. He was a 1,000-yard rusher last season, and now he's kind of staring down the barrel of 1,000 yards rushing by the midway point if he keeps it up at this rate.
Post-game coverage when we return. We'll send it down to Sammy for the trophy presentation, tell you our player of the game, and more as we wrap things up. Shelbyville defeats Siegel 34-22. Shelbyville goes on the road in week one and defeats Siegel 34-22 behind a monster performance from running back Robert Bailey. Welcome back to post-game coverage. The Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Alongside Bruno Reagan, I'm Lucas Panzica. Send it down to Sammy Kincaid in a moment with the trophy presentation. Shelbyville starts the season 1-0. And they'll head back home next week to host Marshall County, but not before they enjoy this one. And the player of the game is an easy one tonight. Junior running back Robert Bailey, called upon as Rocky Chandler, the starting running back, is out for the season with an ACL. Bailey picking up right where he left off. 35 carries tonight, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns for the junior.
And just when I thought they might, start thinking about maybe a rest or a pull, he would come out and he would hit the explosive play. I mean, he did the work to soften the defense up. Might as well let the young man reap the rewards. Showed he was a good gap runner, zone runner. Still had places to improve, but overall, it was such an easy pick for our Bart Durham player of the game.
Robert Bailey will enjoy this one with his head coach, Judd Dryden, and the rest of that Shelbyville squad. We'll send it down to Sammy Kincaid with the Golden Eagles.
Coach Dryden, first game, first win. How does it feel just to be able to get it done?
It feels pretty good to be 1-0 in the first one. It hasn't happened since we've been here, so it's a big deal for us. It's pretty nice, and it's a testament to everything these guys do on and off the field all the time. So I'm pretty proud of them.
And at halftime, we talked a lot about the offensive weapons, starting with the people up front, the O-line. But let's talk about that guy next to you that was able to get it done because of those guys on the O-line. Just talk about the offense and especially his production.
He's a warrior in the weight room. He does everything we need to in the offseason. He's turned into a great leader. It's hard to, he actually exemplifies everything that all these guys do, whether they are noticed or not. And it's something that we're proud of and something that allows us to really continue with our culture. And we're just proud of him.
Well, congratulations again on the win. And this is for you. You guys go celebrate. Enjoy the first win, Coach.
Thank you, Sammy. A great night for the entire Shelbyville community. And that man right there, running back Robert Bailey. Again, final score from Siegel High School, Shelbyville 34, the Seagull Stars 22. A fun 2024 season opener on this Thursday night. And there is more to come on the Friday Night Rivals kickoff weekend. Hope you'll join MyTV 30 Sports tomorrow night, 7 p.m. as the second exciting night of our kickoff weekend continues in Williamson County. The Giles County Bobcats visit the Patriots of Page right here on MyTV 30. All of us here at the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Bart Durham Injury Law, would like to thank our wonderful partners, of course, the Tennessee Army National Guard and Bart Durham Injury Law, who, through their contributions to the program, make these games possible for viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great sponsors, supporters, for their contributions to our 2024 Friday Night Rivals telecast. The United States Navy, BMC Metalworks, UA Local 572, Wilson Bank and Trust, the United States Marines, Western Kentucky University, Bass Tire, and Josh Houston and Associates. And we'd especially like to thank tonight's participating high schools and their administrators for their continued support. Shelbyville Central High School and our host, Siegel High School. As the final score again from Siegel is Shelbyville 34, Seagull 22. For Bruno Reagan and our sideline reporter, Sammy Kincaid, and our entire fantastic crew, I'm Lucas Panzica saying goodnight, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tennessee Army National Guard's Friday Night Rivals presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. Good job, man. Appreciate it. Brian, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. I rushed onto the field, grab a quick picture, call it.
Yeah, let's do it.